A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Sound off for Chesterfield. Low in nicotine, highest in quality, best for you. Chesterfield brings you Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. For the past 3 weeks, a lone thief has been victimizing stores and check-cashing agencies. You've got a description of the man, but so far you've failed to identify him. Your job? Get him. Before you buy your next pack of cigarettes, think this over. A doctor has been examining a group of Chesterfield smokers with special attention to the nose, throat, and sinuses. His latest report, after a full year and a half, says no adverse effects from smoking Chesterfield. Don't you want to try a cigarette with a record like this? Chesterfield, regular or king size, they're low in nicotine, highest in quality, best for you.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Friday, June 10th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief of Detective Stad Brown. My name's Friday. We'd gotten a call that there'd been a holdup, and it was 10:36 a.m. when we got to the corner of Alvarado and Catalina Streets, the Harrison check-cashing agency.
I'm sorry, you'll have to come back. We've had some trouble and we're not open for business. Come back in about an hour.
Police officer, sir.
Oh, well, where have you been? I was held up, you know. Held right up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fellows in the police car was here. They told me that you'd come out. Well, where have you been? It's taken you long enough. Didn't you use the siren?
Yes, sir. We came out as soon as we got the call.
Just seems us taxpayers would get better service than that.
Well, sir, the call just came in 4 minutes ago.
Oh. Well, all right then. Well, now let me tell you all about it.
Yes, sir, if you would, please.
Oh, you just bet I would. Well, now, first off, I had trouble sleeping last night. I knew right off it was going to be a bad day. I can always tell, you know, when I've had a bad night, the next day's always a doozy.
Did you give the officers in the radio car description of the man?
Yes, sir, I sure did. I gave it to them right off. Now, are you going to let me tell you all about the holdup?
Yes, sir, if you go ahead, please.
Well, I had a bad night. Real bad. I knew... say, my name's Harrison. Abel Harrison. I don't think that's your fellow's names.
Oh, this is my partner, Frank Smith. My name's Friday.
Oh,
how do you do?
Glad to know you, yeah. Darn fool next door kept pounding the typewriter all night. He never let up.
Sir?
The man next door, that's why I didn't get any sleep. Some crackpot trying to be a writer. Oh, it's an awful thing. All night long. Dit, 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 ding, dit, dit, ding. All night. Not a wink of sleep.
Yes, sir. If you just tell us about the robbery, please.
You ain't interested, huh?
Well, no, sir, it isn't that. It's just that the more time we lose here, the harder it's going to be to apprehend the suspect. You can understand that.
Oh, well, yeah.
Now, maybe if you just answer some questions for us, it might be easier and possibly a little faster. Huh?
Okay. Fire away.
What time did the man come in?
About 10:12.
Was he alone?
Yep.
Did it look like there might have been anybody else with him?
Nope.
Do you know if he drove an automobile?
Couldn't tell.
I see. Well, would you tell us exactly what he said and what he did from the time that you first saw him?
Came in, 10:12, had a gun, walked over to me, pointed the gun, told me to stick up. That the way you fellows want it?
Well, you just relax, Harrison, will you, and tell the story in your own words.
I'm trying to do just that.
Yes, sir.
Maybe if I went slower, it'll be easier for you boys.
All right, sir, you go right ahead.
Well, he came in, stood around for a minute, then come over to the counter. I asked him if I could help him.
Uh-huh.
We cash checks, you know, payroll checks, first off, I thought that's what he wanted, to cash a check. Wasn't, though. I asked him what he wanted, and he pulled out the gun. Told me to keep quiet and hand him the money. Pointed the gun right at my heart, right here. My heart. Are you with me so far, boys?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So I gave him the money. All there was in the drawer.
I see, sir. About how much was taken, Mr. Harrison?
About $1,500. He just took the paper money. He didn't want the silver. Had 2 paper bags. Looked like he carried his lunch in them. All kind of wrinkled, you know.
Yes, sir.
Had me put the money in them. Then he told me to lay down on the floor. Lay there and count to 100 by ones. Told me not to move until I'd finished. He said if I did, he'd come back and kill me. The way he told me, you knew he meant it. After that, he left.
All right, sir.
What if you can give us a description of the man?
Sure, but already gave one to the other cops. Ain't that enough?
We'd like to have you tell us, if you would, Mr. Harrison.
Oh, them other fellows don't work with you, huh?
Well, yes, sir, they do. But we'd just like you to describe the man to us.
Well, what's the matter? Won't they tell you?
Well, yes, Mr. Harrison, they'll tell us, but the questions they ask you are for getting out a broadcast. We have to fill out a report and try to get the man who did this.
Oh. Seems like a pretty funny way to operate. Don't tell the other cops what's going on.
How tall was the man, Harrison?
Well, let's see. I'd say about 5 feet, maybe 8 to 10 inches.
Mm-hmm. How much did he weigh, would you know?
I'm just guessing, you Nosy. I'm not sure.
Yes, sir, we understand.
Well, I'd say he weighed maybe, 150, right around in there.
How old was he, would you know?
Maybe 25, 26.
How about his coloring? Was he dark or light complected?
No, dark. He had black hair, brown eyes, mean-looking eyes, like steel balls. Kind you pick up with vacuum cleaners. Steel, hard.
Yes, sir. How was he dressed?
Had a pair of Levi's on. Levi's and a blue shirt. He had a brown leather jacket on, too, one with a fur collar.
Was he clean-shaven?
Oh, yes. His face looked like he just had a shave. And a talcum powder on it.
Do you wear glasses, sir?
Yeah?
What kind were they?
I couldn't tell you, just glasses.
Well, did they have metal or plastic frames?
Oh, plastic, yes. Light, kind of tan plastic. Heavy. The kind that don't have the little curvy things around the ears. Just big pieces that went over the top.
Mm-hmm. Did the man touch anything with his hands?
No, he didn't. The other officers asked me that, too. He didn't touch a thing.
Was anybody else present at the time?
No one else. I was the only one here.
Well, did the man have any marks or scars that you noticed?
No, leastways not that I saw.
Was there anything unusual about him? Anything that might help us identify him?
Well, that mustache should help.
Sir?
His mustache. I think it was phonier than a $3 bill. Looked like it to me.
Well, I thought you said the man was clean-shaven.
I did. All around the mustache. I didn't think he meant like that. He's probably clean-shaven under that, too. Sure looked phony to me.
Why do you say that?
It was red. He was dark. Had black hair, black eyebrows. Don't seem like he'd come up with a red mustache. Seem like it to you?
It's hard to say, sir.
Don't seem like it to me, not at all. I tell you something else.
What's that, sir?
I think them glasses was fake, too. Glass in them was funny, like it hadn't been ground, kind of flat. I think they was phony, just like the duster.
Duster?
Mustache. Red mustache with black hair. Phony.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. And we'd like you to come down to the office and look at some other pictures, if you would, see if you can identify the man.
Be glad to. Well, I'll not do it today, though.
Why is that, sir?
Well, I already told you had a picture of him down there. I'd probably miss him. This has been a real bad day for me. Well, tomorrow will be better, though.
Why is that, sir?
Gonna get some sleep tonight.
That's all?
Bribed the landlady.
Yeah?
She let me in his room. I took it.
What's that, sir?
Ain't gonna do much typing without his ribbon, is he?
For the past 3 weeks, we'd heard the same story. A man had entered a check-cashing agency or a small neighborhood store and at gunpoint taken all the currency. Each time, he'd hit just after the owner or the manager had come back from the bank. The descriptions we'd gotten in each theft was the same. Each of the victims looked over the mug books, but they were unable to identify the suspect. The stats office had made an M.O. run going back 10 years. The leads they turned up were run down, but they led us nowhere. Communications to George Brereton up at CII in Sacramento had turned up no new information. We were right where we were after the first robbery. We had a suspect we couldn't identify, a suspect that we couldn't find. 10:45 a.m., the latest victim closed up his place of business and started to accompany us downtown. As we walked out of the store, a police car pulled up to the curb. In the back seat was a man of about 25 years of age. The officer told us that they'd caught the man running down an alley 3 blocks away. The man who matched the description of the thief identified himself as Rudy Martin. While the radio car officer stood by, we took the suspect over to our car to see Gabriel Harrison, the victim.
Caught him already, huh?
Is this the man who held you up, sir?
Let me get out and take a good look.
All right.
Tell him to turn sideways, north and south.
All right, sir.
No, I'll turn sideways. That's him.
Are you sure?
That's the man, even without his mustache and glasses, I can tell.
He's lying. He don't know what he's saying.
Don't you talk that way to me, young fella. And where's my money, huh? What'd you do with my money?
I haven't got it. I never took any money from you or anybody else. You're crazy.
I'll teach you to talk to
All
me
right,
like
Harrison,
that.
never mind. Now, if we need anything more, we'll be back to talk to you.
You mean you ain't going to take me downtown now that you caught the fella?
No, sir, we'll get in touch with you later.
You make him tell you where he hid the money. $1,500, all in paper. You make him tell you.
All right, sir, we'll do that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, I'll be right here. Anything you want me to do, just give a holler. I want to see this fella get what's coming to him.
Yes, sir. Here's our card, and you call us if you need to.
Yeah, you do that. And make him tell you what he done with the money.
Well, you want to get back, Martin?
I'll check with the radio car, Joe. You want him to follow us to the office?
Yeah, tell him we'll take Martin here to the robbery division. We'll check him later.
Right.
All right, Martin, put your hands up as high as you can.
With handcuffs on?
With them on.
You ain't going to find anything.
All right, get them up.
See, I told you. This is a bad thing that man did. I haven't done anything to him. I didn't take his money.
Settle back, Martin. Back in the seat. You ever seen that man before?
No, I haven't.
Is he mad at you for any reason?
I told you I never saw him before.
Well, he says he knows you. He says you held him up a little while ago.
He's crazy.
Why'd he say something like that without a reason?
I don't know.
Your wallet back here?
Yeah.
All right, slide up a little. Any money in it?
No, I got some change, maybe 40, 50 cents. Just a few cards there, and a couple of phone numbers, that's all. There's no money.
Mm-hmm. Who's this? This Johnny Salvatore.
He's a friend of mine.
Chris Turan.
Another friend. They haven't done nothing. They're both nice guys. And look, you got no right to do this. You got no right to arrest
I
him.
just want to talk to you. If you haven't done anything wrong, then you haven't got anything to worry about, have you?
That sounds good, but what am I doing sitting here in his car with you?
All right, now tell us the real story, huh?
I ain't nothing to tell. I was over by Central Avenue when these two cops came by and picked me up. I wasn't doing anything.
Officers say you were running down an alley. They say that you wouldn't stop when they told you to. Now, how about all that?
I was scared. You can see how that had happened, can't you?
What'd you do with the gun?
Wasn't any gun.
The victim says it was.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You registered for the draft, Martin?
Yeah.
Well, where's your draft card?
Isn't it in the wallet?
No, it isn't.
Guess I must have lost it.
You ever been arrested? Did you hear me, Martin? How about it?
Yeah, a couple of times.
What for?
Back.
Where?
Here, back east.
Where back east?
KC.
You sure that's all?
Yeah.
What were you doing in that alley this morning?
I was on my way to see a guy.
Who?
A friend of mine.
Okay, Joe.
Yeah.
I'll call in. We can get started.
Right.
1K80 to Control 1. 1K80 to Control 1.
Control 1 to 1K80. Go ahead.
Prisoner in custody. Show us out to room 27A, City Hall. KMA 367.
Roger, 1K80. KMA 367.
You all set?
Yeah, let's go. Now, who's this friend you're going to see, Martin?
You have to know that?
We have to know.
Chris Tarrant.
What are we going to see him about?
Job. He said he could line one up for him.
Where do you live?
Room and house down on Wall.
All right, you want to tell us what you did with that money?
What money? I don't know how to tell you any better. I didn't have anything to do with that guy. I don't know nothing about any robbery. I was on my way to see a friend about a job. A couple of cops picked me up. That's all there is to it, nothing more. If you think you can make this thing stick, then you go right ahead. I don't think you can.
Well, we got a lot of time, Martin.
So have I. I got nothing to do. Night's sleep and a couple of meals. That's what I stand to come up with. I got no problems. Go ahead, lock me up. You're going to have to let me go. I don't care what the old guy says. I didn't hold him up. Not him nor anybody else can say I did.
The clothes you got on match the ones the hold-up man wore.
So what? A lot of people wear these kind of
The
clothes.
victim identified you.
The guy made a mistake. I told you that.
All right, Martin, you called it. I hope you know what you're talking about. The victim of the robbery identified you, and there's 5 more we think we can tie you into. We make you on the rest of them, you got real trouble here. Now, you'll save us and yourself a lot of time if you'll tell us the truth.
You wouldn't know it if you saw it.
Well, there's one way to find out, isn't there?
Yeah?
Try us. 10:52 a.m. We took the suspect back to the city hall, and we talked to him for over 3 hours. He refused to admit any knowledge of the holdups. We checked him through R&I, and we came up with the arrest record that he told us about. In checking his record, we found that the suspect was wanted for draft evasion. In the meantime, the other victims of the holdup man had been brought down to the office. The suspect was placed in a show-up with several other persons. They all failed to identify Martin as the thief. In checking further with the last victim, Harrison, he stated that he'd probably made a wrong identification. We had a search of Martin's room made, but we were unable to come up with anything. The 2 friends he'd mentioned were checked out, but there was no record on either one of them. The suspect was turned over to the federal authorities for prosecution on the draft evasion charge. We were right back where we started 3 weeks before. The next morning, Saturday, June 11th, we started all over again. This time we went back into the files 15 years. Anybody who even vaguely matched the description was checked out. The M.O. of the thief was rechecked. The machines came up with an additional 17 possibles. Each of these were checked out. It took us 2 weeks, and at the end of that time, we were back where we started again. We had nothing but a description that apparently didn't match anybody in our files, and an M.O. that didn't fit any known criminal. During the time that we'd been checking out leads, the bandit was inactive. Additional cars from Metro Division had been assigned to the detail, and rolling stakeouts were maintained around check-cashing agencies throughout the city. The hold-up man had apparently dropped from sight. Saturday, June 25th, I checked into the office.
Robbery, Smith. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Ben. Huh? Oh, just a minute. Little John. You see him, Joe?
No, I don't think he's here. Little John? No, he's not here.
No, Ben, he isn't here. All right, wait a minute. I'll check the book. Yeah, here. No, I left about an hour ago. Yeah, I'll be back. Want me to call you? Okay, wait a minute.
Here's a pencil.
Uh-huh. 0281? Right, yeah. Okay, Ben.
I got something here. Teletype from San Diego from Hewen and Davis.
Yeah? What is it?
I'll read it to you. R.E. your APB, dated June 10th, R.E. robbery. Robbery occurred this city last night. M.O. and description matches your suspect. We have identification as Jerry Lane, San Diego number 146382. Are sending mug shots.
Huh, looks like a break.
Well, it might have been. You didn't let me finish.
Yeah?
He got away. 12:15 p.m. A special delivery letter arrived from San Diego with the mug shots of Jerry Lane. There was also a note from Sergeant Carl Davis. He explained that the suspect had held up a small liquor store in the city and had badly beaten the owner. A witness was shown the mug books and was able to pick out the bandit. He was identified as a Jerry Lane. He had only one arrest record, and that was for a misdemeanor offense in San Diego County. We checked the name through our identification bureau, but there was no record on him in our files. The mug shots for San Diego had been taken over 4 years previously, but the victims of the robberies in Los Angeles had no trouble identifying it, even without the glasses and the mustache. Additional broadcasts were gotten out carrying the name, and radiograms were sent to Washington and to Sacramento requesting any available information. Another week passed while the search went on. During that time, the hold-up man hit once more, this time in National City, just south of San Diego. From the reports we got, the M.O. matched the one previously used. The suspect made good his escape. Tuesday morning, 11:30 a.m., Frank and I had been out running down a lead. We just got back to the office.
Well, there's another one that didn't go anyplace.
Yeah?
You know, Joe, if somebody could figure out a way to filter out the bad leads, it'd sure save a lot of legwork, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I guess I get it. Robbery Friday. Yeah, all right. It's Hewen.
Yeah?
Hi, Pappy. Yeah. When was that? Yeah, anything on him? Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you're probably right. Well, I guess the only thing we can do is put out another broadcast. Yeah. No, nothing up here. What'd you say? Right, yeah. Well, if anything else turns up, let us know, will you? Right. Oh, wait a minute. Say hello to Carl. All right, Pappy. Yeah, we'll be talking to you. Right. Thanks. Bye.
What's he got?
Well, it's our suspect, Jerry Lane.
Yeah?
He's going to have to stand for more than a 211 charge now.
What do you mean?
Latest victim just died.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
It's so satisfying to know that my Chesterfield is low in nicotine, highest in quality.
Chesterfield, low in nicotine, highest in quality. A fact proved by chemical analyses of the country's 6 leading cigarette brands.
And it's so satisfying to know that a doctor who has been making thorough examinations, especially of the nose, throat, and sinuses, reports no adverse effects from smoking Chesterfields.
His report is a part of a program supervised by a responsible research laboratory and is based on thorough bi-monthly examinations of a group of Chesterfield smokers over a period of a year and a half.
That's 18 full months now. Don't you want to smoke a cigarette with a record like this? Regular or king size.
Chesterfield is low in nicotine, highest in quality. Best for me, best for you.
From the information we got on the phone, it looked like Jerry Lane would be headed for Los Angeles. One of the witnesses to the latest robbery said that the suspect drove away in either a 1942 Plymouth or a Dodge Coupe. The color of the car was listed as either a dark blue or black. Descriptions of the car and of the suspect were printed up and distributed to all law enforcement agencies between Los Angeles and the Mexican border. Al Gayton from the San Diego department got in touch with the Mexican authorities, and a close check was kept on all cars crossing into Mexico. According to our information, Jerry Lane had robbed at least 8 places and stolen a little under $9,000 in a period of 6 weeks. While we continued our investigation, the San Diego authorities followed up the leads they had. In the course of checking out the friends and associates listed on Lane's arrest record, they came up with the information that he had at one time been employed as a musician in a downtown nightclub. They interviewed the employees of the place, but they were not able to get a definite lead on the suspect. With the mugshot that they'd sent us, and knowing that he was a professional musician, we checked with the local office of the Musicians Union. They told us that he was not in good standing, and they were unable to give us the address of the suspect, but they did give us the name and address of a bar where he'd worked several years before. At 8:30 p.m. that night, Frank and I talked to one of the waitresses in the place.
No, they cut out the band a year or so ago. Not enough business to keep it going.
Uh-huh. Did you work here when they did have a band?
Sure, I've been here since they remodeled the place. Been 4 years anyway. Hey, you fellas like a drink? Be on the house.
No, thank you.
No, ma'am.
You know a man named Jerry Lane?
What does he do?
Well, he's a musician. We understand he plays clarinet.
Lane. Yeah, it seems to me I do remember him. Not too tall, kind of nice looking if you went for the type. Yeah, I remember him.
You know where we can get in touch with him?
No, I haven't got the slightest idea. Had to be a pretty big lush. Had to let him go. Union told him lay off the booze, but he didn't pay no attention. Always showing up late. A real lush.
Possible the owner might know where he is?
It isn't likely. I'm married to the owner. I know most of the stuff that goes on around here.
I see. Can you give us any idea where we might be able to get a lead on him? Some of his friends? Maybe another musician?
No. Hey, wait a minute.
Ma'am?
I might know someone. Let me make a phone call.
Well, if you give us the phone number, we can put in the call.
No, I'd rather not do that. You see, this girl used to see a lot of Jerry. Maybe she don't want to get mixed up in a thing like this. I'll call her and find out. If she knows, she'll tell me. If she doesn't, there's no harm done.
Okay.
Got a dime?
Just a minute. Here's 2 nickels.
Thanks.
I'd rather you leave the door open, if you will.
All right. Hello, may I speak to Betty Hodgin, please? Yes. All right. They're calling her.
Good.
Nice girl. Never figured out what she saw in Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Betty? Betty, this is Naomi. Just fine. You? Oh, yeah, he's fine. Say, Betty, I hate to bother you, but do you know where I can get in touch with Jerry Lane? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, wait a minute. Have you got a pencil?
Yeah. Here you go.
Now, what's the address, Betty? Uh-huh. Yeah, I got it. No, it's nothing serious, no. No, business isn't that good. Yeah, we still got the piano. Sure, gonna keep it. Right. Well, thanks, Betty. You guys are in luck.
Yes, ma'am?
Here's the address. The club down on 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Betty says he's there almost every night.
9:42 p.m. We called the office and had another team of men sent out. We notified Homicide Detail that we'd picked up another lead, and they sent out a team of men to give us any help that we might need in apprehending the suspect. The address we'd been given was the Georgetown Club, a small place on West 6th Street. When we got there, the place was crowded, and the band was in the middle of the second set. We checked with one of the bartenders.
Sure. That's Jerry playing clarinet. See? Gray suit.
Yeah, does he work here?
No, he shows up almost every night, sits in with the band. Union doesn't like it. They talk to the boss about it. He's trying to get the bum out of here. Cause a lot of trouble.
That right?
Sure. Always he comes in drunk, or else he acts like he's high on dope. You want me to get in for you?
Yeah, tell him there are a couple of friends who'd like to talk to him, will you?
I'll do it right now. You don't want me to say you're cops?
No, we don't.
I didn't think so. Okay, I get it.
Thank you.
Some place they got here, huh?
Yeah, sure is crowded, isn't it?
Right. Better watch him. He's probably armed.
Yeah, let's get him outside. It'd be easier to take there. Too many people here.
Yeah, the bartender's got him now.
All right. Well, let's let him get outside before we move away.
Right.
There he goes. Come on.
Yeah, sure. Well, where are they? You said a couple of friends. Where are they? You said they would be here. Now, wait a minute. Here they are. Oh. I know you. Where did I know you fellas from?
You Jerry Lane?
Yeah. What do you want to see me about? I got to get back in there. If you fellas don't need me no more, I'll get back to work, huh?
No.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Go ahead.
No problem. I know what's this all about. I don't know you guys.
Police officers, you're under arrest.
What for?
Frank?
Yeah. Stand still.
What are you trying to do? You got nothing on me.
Stand still.
You stay away from me, cop. Now leave me alone.
All right, hold up, mister.
All right, now come on your feet.
Get up. Now stand still. Knees clean, Joe. Now put your hands behind you.
I didn't do anything. You got no reason to shove me around. Cut my mouth. It's bleeding.
Yeah, well, that makes two of us, mister.
What are you after me for? What have I done? I have too much to drink? Is that it? I wasn't bothering anybody in there.
It's a nice try, Lane, but it won't work. We got a half a dozen positive identifications on you for robbery.
I didn't hurt anybody.
You killed a man.
Yeah. The last one, I heard he died. Is it true? Did he die?
That's right.
I didn't know what I was doing, you know. I wasn't responsible. I just didn't feel so good. It wasn't my fault. He wouldn't give me the money. I didn't know what I was doing. That's going to make a difference, isn't it? I didn't know what I was doing.
I wouldn't know about that, Lane. That's going to be up to the jury, but you can bet on one thing.
What's that?
They'll know what they're doing.
The story you have just heard is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
On December 17th, trial was held in Department 92, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial.
And now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. Friends, the big Labor Day weekend is coming up, so make sure you have plenty of Chesterfields. Get a couple of cartons when you do your weekend shopping. Now, I can tell you why you should be smoking Chesterfields in just 10 words. Chesterfield, low in nicotine, highest in quality, best for you.
Gerald Carlisle Lane was tried and convicted of murder in the first degree and was executed in the lethal gas chamber at the State Penitentiary, San Quentin, California. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Frazier. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Vic Rodman, Lillian Baeff, Harry Bartell. Script by John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Watch an entirely new Dragnet case history each week on your local NBC television station. Please check your newspaper for the day and time.
Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
Have you tried new cork-tipped Fatima? It's the smooth smoke. Here's why. New Fatima tips of perfect cork, king size for longer filtering, and Fatima quality for a much better flavor and aroma. Remember, Fatima has the tip for your lips. Try new Fatima. See how smooth it is. Fatima is made by the makers of Chesterfield, Liggett & Myers, one of tobacco's most respected names.
My name's Jeff Regan. I get 10 a day in expenses from the detective bureau run by a guy named Lyon. Anthony J. Lyon. They call me the Lion's Eye.
With Jack Webb as Jeff Regan, Investigator, stand by for hard-boiled action and mystery and thrilling adventure in tonight's story of The Man Who Came Back.
Well, this is the way it started. It was a hot Tuesday afternoon, about 4 o'clock. Melody was sitting at her typewriter watching a tired-looking fly crawl across the ceiling. She didn't say a word, just waved an arm in the direction of his door.
Certainly we will, Mr. Brondike. Absolutely. Certainly. Yes, of course. Come in, Regan. Yes. It's all right, Mr. Brondike. Yes, he'll be there in an hour. All right, half an hour. Goodbye. Regan, you're it.
I'm what?
Here's his address. Name's Elmer Brondike. Has the real estate office in Altadena. Check came by a special messenger half an hour ago. It was late, but the bank tells me it's good. So you're it.
You know, that's what I like, efficiency.
It's too hot to be funny. I want you to hop out there and see what he's excited about.
Didn't he tell you?
Yeah, he's one of those nasty old coots. He didn't make much sense on the phone. Something about someone coming back. Besides, his teeth were slipping around.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it's a job. Business has been terrible lately.
You know, I still want my expenses on that Tartaglia thing.
Have you ever come up short with me?
Yes, I have.
You'll get all that's coming to you.
When?
As soon as Melody gets a bill from that hospital, because that's coming out of your check. Now, beat it out there and find out what this guy wants and call me if you're running into any trouble.
Brondike Manor was a brown-white cottage on the edge of 10 acres of dusty land in back of Foothill Drive. There was a big sign right in front of it telling you how easy it is to own your own land and have your own home on Brondike Estates. Well, I parked across the highway, and it was just about then that a big, heavy-set man wearing a dirty white Panama hat and a suit that didn't fit him around the stomach crawled out of a 36 Ford sedan, jammed a cigar in his mouth, and came over to my car. He had hair in his ears.
Yeah, hot afternoon, ain't it? Yes, sir, sure is hot. Sure is a hot afternoon.
Yeah, it is if you spend it sitting in a car pulling on a bottle.
Smell it, huh?
A mile away.
Just trying to beat the heat.
Okay, you've been parked in the car beating the heat.
Yeah, you win. Ain't much good trying to look like a guy who wants to buy a house.
Yeah. Who do you look like?
Yeah, it's a little greasy, but it's me.
Marty Anderson. Confidential investigation.
Guess I ought to have new ones printed up, huh?
All right, you're a sleuth. How's business, Marty?
Bunk.
Too bad.
You going in to see old man Brondike?
Your nose is getting sunburned, Marty.
I was just going to go and see him myself when I spot you pull up. Recognize you from pictures in the paper last week on that Tartaglia thing. I figured maybe you and me ought to talk.
Yeah.
Hey, you make it tough for a guy, Regan. We're in the same racket. What you going to see him about?
You said you were going in to see him.
Well, I kind of changed my mind when I seen you.
This is where I came in.
Ah, you're a tough guy, Regan. You're a real tough guy, and a lot of people know it. But Marty Anderson's betting you're a dumb guy, too. A real dumb guy.
Mm-hmm. See you around, Marty.
I'm an old conk, huh? A fat old slob who couldn't get a trick as a housekeeper or a tail in a bunk. Is that it?
Oh, well, don't get too close. That's a real bad label you got to hold up.
Okay, Regan, okay. You're young and tough, but you just keep my card, wise guy. You'll want to see me. You'll want to see me before it's all tied up.
Mr. Brondike, please. Elmer Brondike. He's expecting me.
Your name, please?
Regan.
Mr. Regan. R-E-G-A?
No. You don't have to write it down, lady.
And your business?
Private.
I'm afraid I'll have to know a little more than that, Mr. Regan.
Is it always this hot in here?
Yes, and I'm sick and tired.
Look, just flip your switch and tell him I'm here, will you? He sent for me.
Wait a minute, please.
Well, what is it, Connie?
It's Mr. Regan here, Dad. He says he's expected. I don't find him listed on your appointment book.
Don't be an idiot. Send him in. Send him in.
Let me go in now, Mr. Regan.
Yeah, thanks. Is he always like that?
Most of the time. Other times he's bad.
High blood pressure?
He's got it high, low, and in between. I hate him.
A winner, huh? I'm sorry, Connie. That is your name, isn't it?
Go on in before I quit.
Don't just stand there. Come on in, in. Shut the door. What took you so long? Now, you're Jeff Regan, huh? Now, you don't look much like a private detective to me. Sit down. Where'd I put that thing?
Over there by the inkwell.
What? Oh, well. Now then, Regan, about this Collier. He's a no-good tramp. You understand that? A no-good tramp. I'll see that he goes right back up to San Quentin if I have to. I'm a dangerous man to play games with. He found that out once, and if he keeps up this business, he's going to find it out again.
All right, you're dangerous. He's a no-good tramp, San Quentin.
Say, are you mocking me?
No, I'm not. I'm just wondering what you're talking about.
I just told you everything. You got ears? Can't you hear?
I don't hear anything but a lot of blubbering, and that doesn't make any sense.
Too big gum here.
Connie told me all about your high blood pressure. You better watch that.
She did she? Well, Connie talks too much. That's what's the matter with her. She talks too much.
Oh, sure, and you'd fire her, only she's your daughter. You'd have to pay somebody else 3 times what you pay her to take everything she has to take.
Get out of here. Get out of my office. Get out. Get out. No, never mind. Sit down. It's just hot. Heat always gets me.
Yeah, me too. Now, do you want to tell me about it?
He's an ungrateful scoundrel.
Who?
Toby Collier. Who else? Well, I took that boy in as my junior partner in Brondike Estates when he was nothing more than a car washer in a filling station. And how does he repay me?
Hey, you're letting the heat bother you again.
No, it isn't the heat, Regan. I'll tell you that. It's those phone calls. Phone calls telling me to beware and watch out. And a lot of other nonsense.
Now we're getting close.
They let him out of San Quentin last week. You'd think he'd go somewhere where people didn't know him and wash cars again or something. But no. He has to start telephoning my office and telling me he's back and that he's going to get me.
What was he doing in San Quentin?
2 to 10 on an embezzlement count.
How long ago was that?
3 years ago. I guess he got time off or something.
Why is he sore at you?
I had to testify against him. It was my firm. It was chiseling.
So now he's out of the clink and he's phoning you and trying to throw a scare into you, huh?
He may be out, but he isn't scaring me or anybody else, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to find him, wherever he is. Bring him here.
All right.
And then I want to tell him like I'm telling you. If he keeps bothering me with those phone calls, if he persists in threatening me, then I'll haul out some stuff I have in my safety deposit box and send him back up there on a swindling rap, just to get him out of my hair.
You withheld evidence at that trial?
I withheld nothing. Just be a new charge, and I could make it stick if I wanted to.
All right, tell me the rest of it.
What do you mean, tell you the rest of it? No more to tell. He's a punk. He's got to get in trouble.
Where'd Marty Anderson figure?
What?
Anderson, Marty. Confidential Investigations. Big, dirty-looking ape who shaves every other day.
Oh, that rum pot. How do you know about him?
He tried to shake me down outside your office.
He would. Yeah, he's just a second-rate gum heel I called in 3 years ago when I thought Collier might be fixing my books. I think it's the only job he ever had. He's been pestering me ever since.
Did he testify against Collier?
Of course he testified against Collier. That was part of his job. Is there anything else you want to know?
Yes, there is. Why'd you call International instead of the police?
You're pretty nosy, aren't you?
I'm a lot of things. Now, come on, why?
Because every time you call a cop around this town, there's always some snoopy reporter hanging around the sergeant's desk. I got $500,000 tied up in this here gravel pit. I don't want anybody who's going to buy into it thinking that I might get knocked over by some loony. That's why I want it all quiet. Does that satisfy you?
No, it'll do for now. You'll probably come up with something better later on.
You dirty...
All right, where's Collier?
If I knew, I wouldn't have called you in.
You have a family here, a home, a wife, something?
He was all alone. He had a mother somewhere, I guess.
Pictures?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep these.
When am I going to hear from you?
When I find something.
You bring him to me.
I'll ask him to come. He doesn't have to.
You just spring that swindling rap on him. He'll come.
Yeah, and if it's no good, he can turn right around and slap a slander suit right in your face, and I wouldn't blame him.
Don't you forget you're working for me, young man.
No, I won't.
Regan, you've got a nasty way of talking. People don't talk to me like that.
Yeah, well, this is a brand new crowd of people, Frosty Top, and we talk just like we feel. Down at the City Hall, they didn't have anything on Toby Collier, except that he'd been released from San Quentin August 10th. From there, I went to the parole board office, but it was closed by that time. So I did the next best thing, and I sent a wire to the officer in charge of parole prisoners, San Quentin, asking for Collier's address. Then I dropped into the Times office, and I looked up the story of the trial. It was a page 3 item for 2 days, a second section filler for a week. After that, nothing. There were no pictures. But it did give the name of Collier's lawyer, a man named Alan Nordale. The phone book gave him an address over on Kingsley.
That you, Millie? Hold on just a minute. I was just trying to get my dinner over before you... Who are you?
Mr. Nordale?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my name's Regan. I'm a private investigator. I'm trying to locate a former client of yours, a man named Toby Collier.
Come in. I was expecting Millie, but come in.
Thank you.
I always fix my own dinner, poached egg and half. I have ulcers. Name's Regan?
Yeah.
You want an egg?
No, thanks.
You mind if I finish?
No, go ahead.
Thank you. What's what with Toby Collier?
Well, I'm just trying to locate him, that's all. I found out that you were his lawyer. He was released from San Quentin 10 days ago.
Yeah. You sure you won't have an egg? You get used to him after a while. Who you work for, Regan?
International Detective Bureau.
The line's still there?
Yeah.
Well, so you're the line's eye, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lines is a bandit. But whose case?
Elmer Brondike.
Mm-hmm. What you want Toby for?
Ball him out for making threatening phone calls.
That all?
As far as I know.
Yeah, Toby was a nice kid, but a calendar job. Born with one war going, one depression on deck, and a new war starting. Makes a difference. Yeah, the calendar got him.
And he wound up in San Quentin.
Well, everything was against him at the trial, too. He was pretty mad at old man Brondike and that private dick, and me and everyone else before it was all over. I tried to talk to him.
From what Brondike tells me, he's still mad.
Yeah, I did all I could, but he didn't have a chance. He tried to lift a lousy couple $1,000, and they caught him. Well, he's out now.
Did you handle his parole?
No.
You know who did?
No.
You don't know where he is in town?
No.
Well, Brondike said he had a mother.
No.
Okay. I'll leave you to Millie.
Yeah. If we play records, Millie used to be a violinist. Sorry I'm no help. Regan, if you find Toby, I'd like to see him.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I just want to see what 3 years in the pen does to a man like that.
Yeah, I'll bet you do.
Where are you now? Did you find Collier?
I'm calling from home.
Home? What about Collier?
I didn't find him yet.
Well, get busy. What are you waiting for?
A telegram, morning, couple of things.
Listen, this old schmo is plenty tough, and if he thought you were local...
Look, it's 9 o'clock at night. I'm tired. There's nothing I can do till tomorrow morning.
He's sore as a shaved pup about all this, and especially about you. Phoned up and said you call him a lot of names.
He is a lot of names.
I don't care what he is. You don't talk to a client like that. Besides, I haven't cashed his check. Now go on out and find that guy and get this thing settled. Good night, Regan.
Besides, I haven't cashed his check. Well, I just set down the phone and started at the door when it happened. Connie Brondike was standing there, and she didn't waste any time. She didn't say a word, just pulled the trigger. The first 3 brought down plaster on the ceiling. The 4th one ruined the shoulder on my suit. The 5th gave me a haircut. I made a grab for it, and I missed. I took the empty gun in my face. Next thing I knew, she pulled off one of those high spiked heels and raised it above my head. I tried to stop her, but my arms wouldn't work, and that's all I remember.
You are listening to the story of the man who came back. Tonight's adventure with Jeff Regan, Investigator. They're still available for qualified nurses. Yes, the Army Nurse Corps Reserve still has commissions available. If you are a graduate registered nurse between the ages of 21 and 45, you may be eligible for a commission in the Army Nurse Corps section of the Regular Officers Reserve. Those who meet the high standards and qualify to serve with this fine organization may elect active or inactive status. Nurses requesting inactive status will continue with civilian nursing, but stand ready to serve in time of emergency. In addition, they have the opportunity to take advantage of special training courses. Nurses who request active status enjoy the same privilege of all other officers. Graduate work is provided at the Army's most modern teaching centers, and the nurses obtain educational experience that benefits them in both civilian and military nursing. If you believe you qualify for a commission in the Army Nurse Corps Reserve, apply to the Adjutant General, Washington, D.C. And now, back to the story of the man who came back and Jeff Regan, Investigator.
Oh, yeah, Connie had done a real good job. 6 to 5, I'd never get there before it stopped ringing. All right.
Hello?
Regan, is that you?
Yeah,
What's the matter? Did I get you up?
something like that.
This is Marty Anderson.
Did you wash your face yet?
Still feeling tough, huh? I thought maybe we could talk now.
Yeah. What made you think that?
You're looking for Collier, ain't you? I know where he is.
Yeah?
Want to talk?
Where?
My place, on my card.
Half an hour.
I'll wait for you, tough guy. Bring some money. This is going to cost you.
Everything's going to cost me. Bring some money.
Mr. Regan, it's me, Jake. You're right in there? Go, Regan! Go! You all right, Mr. Regan?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I told you it was all right. Now, let me go. I was real worried. I thought I heard some shots, and I see this one jumping down the stairs like she had a good homicide somewhere. You sure you're all right?
Go on, Regan. Get your hands off
All
me.
right, Jake, let her go. She's a friend of mine.
You sure it's all right? Hey, you're bleeding. Look at the plaster. Who them was shot?
Of course they were shot.
Jake, let her go, will you? Huh?
Sure.
I was cleaning a gun.
Oh, cleaning a gun. Funny time to clean a gun, 10 o'clock at night.
Well, I do a lot of funny things. Come up and have a drink sometime, will you, Jake?
Okay, Mr. Regan, okay. Good night.
Good night. Oh, no, you don't, lady. Stay right where you are. No, we're going to talk.
You hurt my arm.
I'll rough you up good if I have to. Now, come on.
I only wanted my pictures.
Oh, save it, lady.
I didn't have any right to give them to you. They were mine. Should have done that.
So you come over to get them, and you take 5 shots at me and slam a gun in my face. Why don't you finish the job with your heel?
I couldn't do it. I was going through your wallet looking for the pictures. I saw your license. You're a private detective. You're looking for Toby, aren't you? That's why you had the pictures. You're looking for Toby.
Collier, your boyfriend?
Yeah, we were going to get married.
Only he went to the pen, huh?
Those pictures. That's all I had left of them.
He didn't write?
No.
You know he's out now.
Yeah?
So he gotten in touch with you?
Why should he? He thinks I was in on it.
In on what?
The whole dirty, rotten thing. Toby was framed. Dad hired that Marty Anderson to help him do it.
How do you know he was framed?
I've been working for my dad for 5 years. I see things.
Yeah, I'll bet you do.
That's the truth.
Oh, yeah, everybody's full of the truth. All the liars are dead.
Look at me. Well, go ahead and look at me, Mr. Regan. I'm not what you'd call beautiful. I ain't even pretty. I'm tall and gawky. No man would ever look at me twice. Toby looked at me. He loves me, but... What you gonna do to him when you find him?
Well, he's been threatening your father on the phone. I'm just gonna take him there.
Yeah, would you bring him to me first? Would you let me talk to him?
Why?
Because maybe I can hold him in my arms and make him forget all his hate and everything he's gone through. Maybe he'll still love me. We can go away together and get married. You know where he is. Can you find him tonight?
Maybe.
You gonna help me?
I gotta see a man.
Guess I went kind of crazy tonight, huh? I don't know. I've been thinking about him so much lately.
Yeah. Well, next time, give me a little thought, will you? Good night, lady. Well, Marty Anderson's office was a dirty room hanging over a shoe repair shop on Sunset near Alvarado. You could tell it belonged to him. The glass on the door hadn't been washed for 10 years. He didn't answer when I knocked, so I tried my keys on the door. The third one worked. Inside, it smelled like a pile of wet gunny sacks. The only light was kind of a thick green from a neon sign going on and off outside the window. There was an old army cot in one corner, and right in front of the window, a big black roll-top desk and a cracked leather chair. He was sitting there looking at the neon light he couldn't see anymore. One dirty hand was on top of a scratch pad near the phone, and the other was inside his coat. When I pulled it out, it was covered with blood and the rest of a pint of cheap whiskey.
I found a .38 cartridge case on the floor. He didn't have anything in his pockets except some keys and a plug of chewing tobacco. There wasn't anything in the desk drawers either. When I started to call homicide, I had to move his hand. The name Collier was written on the scratch pad, and there was an address to go with it.
Police Department, 24.
Extension 2521, please.
Homicide, Chandler.
Lieutenant Wendetti.
Off tonight. Who's calling?
All right, take this down, Sergeant. Shoe shop, Sunset near Alvarado.
Yeah?
One flight up.
Yeah?
Office. Belongs to a private detective named Marty Anderson.
Yeah?
Got all that?
Yeah.
He's dead.
What? Hey, who is it?
The Santa Monica fog was all over Flower Street on the 1300 block south. The streetlight didn't do much good. Just kind of hung around and watched everything get wet. I used a half a pack of matches finding my address.
Out kind of late tonight, aren't you, Pilgrim? What'll it be?
Toby Collier here?
He was here.
All right, I'll wait.
He ain't gonna be here no more.
You a friend of his?
Never met the guy.
Yeah.
It's midnight, beat it.
All right, wait a minute.
Oh, like that, huh?
Any way you want it.
I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna tell you something.
All right, Santa Claus.
Before I turned night watcher, they call me the Candy Kid. 6'4", pound of 2 under 300. It'd be assault with a deadly weapon if I slapped you in the mush, but you're tempting me. Now, beat it.
All right, wait a minute.
Being a night watcher ain't slowing me down now.
All right, now maybe this will. I just came from Marty Anderson's.
So what?
He's dead.
So what?
And in about a half an hour, the cops are going to be here looking for Toby Collier.
Yeah? Well, they can just dig him up and talk all they want.
Dig him up?
Are you blind or drunk or something? This outfit buried him this afternoon. This is a mortuary.
Well, when I got home, she wasn't there, but a telegram was there. It was a long answer from San Quentin telling me how Collier had been brought to Los Angeles on a stretcher and the hospital that he was in, and a lot of other things. It took me 20 minutes to get out to Aladino, but I was too late. Well, her aim was a lot better this time. By the time I got through the door, the old man had dropped his gun and was kind of hanging onto a piece of drapery by the window.
Got it. Get your Miller.
Well, you've turned into a real Annie Oakley, haven't you?
Good to see him like that. Real good.
You want to give me that gun? It's empty.
Sure, why not? He had it coming for a long time.
You read my telegram?
Yeah, I read it. And I phoned the hospital, and they told me Toby was dead. Bad heart. Wasn't that bad heart that killed Toby? It was him. He killed him.
You don't have to make those faces. They don't make him any deader.
You think I'm nuts, don't you?
No, I'm not a lawyer, lady. You can plead any way you want.
Well, I'll never tell it to a court.
Don't bet on that.
You want such a bad guy? I'll tell it to you.
All of it?
How many tramps you met in your life, Regan? Real tramps.
Some just thought they were tramps.
Well, you met the genuine product today. Take him. For 10 years, he's been packing away money. When the income tax people got close, he goes out and he finds Toby in a filling station.
And makes him a junior partner.
Yeah, works an embezzlement frame up that makes Toby the fall guy.
That way he doesn't have to straighten out any books.
Tramp number 1. Genuine, huh? And then there's number 2, a private dick named Marty Anderson. Pig.
Oh, he's dead. Somebody shot him tonight.
Yeah, he did it. The only decent thing he ever did in his life. Marty was in on it. He testified against Toby in court.
But Marty wanted money.
Yeah, all the time for the old man killed him.
And it was supposed to look like Toby.
Only Toby was dead. Yeah. Toby was dead, and he couldn't kill anybody.
When you find out about Toby, you come back and you do some shooting yourself, don't you?
He killed Toby.
At the morgue, they told me it was his heart.
His heart, his soul, everything that made him. He was on a hospital ward all the time he was in prison. He'd only written and told me.
All right. Come on.
He's got to take me down.
Yeah.
Don't make no difference now.
This Toby, you must have loved the guy.
I'd have died for him.
Yeah, lady. I guess you will. Well, that's the way it came out. Brondike killed Marty Anderson because Marty was trying to sell me what he knew about Collier's trial. Oh, Marty was a lousy private detective making those phone calls and trying to make Brondike think it was Collier. Well, the Lion was mad because I phoned homicide and then ran away. He said it'd give the agency a bad name. And then he began talking the way he does.
Funny thing about all this, Regan, those two going for each other.
Yeah.
She was nothing to look at. Him, he was a smart guy.
He wound up in prison, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was a smart guy. He was just framed.
Not many smart guys get framed.
What do you mean?
I mean, Collier sold out to Brondike, and then he made the frame deal.
How do you know?
Collier left a will.
You think they'd have made a go of it? I mean, gotten married or something if all this hadn't happened?
Nope.
Why not? She went for him, and he went for her. Say, he didn't serve much time on a 2 to 10 rap. He must have had a smart lawyer.
No, you mean doctor.
What?
He had a heart condition. He was dying.
And they paroled him?
They let him out to die.
Well, they do things like that?
Sometimes.
No wonder he didn't write that name. Yeah, what do you know about that?
Nothing. You work on it. I'm tired. Good night.
Are you a registered graduate nurse? Do you know someone who is? Then please listen carefully to this important message. 29,000 nurses are needed to join the new Army Nurse Corps Officers Reserve. For the first time in history, qualified nurses are given the opportunity of receiving a commission in the regular Army Reserve. These nurses will remain on inactive status, ready to serve their country in the event of an emergency. 4,000 of them, if they wish, may choose active duty. All nurses who receive reserve commissions will benefit from the opportunity for specialized training offered to them by the Army. Inactive reserve status will not interfere with the nurse's civilian life, but the educational opportunities offered her by the Army Medical Department will be of great advantage to her in her work. So don't wait. If you're a registered graduate nurse between the ages of 21 and 45, drop a card now for complete information to the Adjutant General, Washington, D.C. Jack Webb is starred as Jeff Regan, with Wilms Herbert as Anthony J. Lyon. The role of Connie Brondike was played by Betty Lou Gerson. Jeff Regan is written by E. Jack Newman, produced by Sterling Tracy, with original music by Dick Arant. It's CBS same time next week for more hard-boiled action and mystery with Jeff Regan, Investigator. If you like mystery, you'll be able to find out what makes a mystery when you find that clue with mystery man Ken Crossan and other famous mystery experts on most of these CBS stations Monday night at 8:30. Remember, find that clue, CBS Monday night. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Chesterfield. Chesterfield. Low in nicotine, highest in quality, best for you. Chesterfield brings you Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to burglary detail. In the past 5 weeks, 17 homes in your city have been stripped of all valuables. There's no lead to the thief. No description. Your job, get him. Before you buy your next pack of cigarettes, think this over. A doctor has been examining a group of Chesterfield smokers with special attention to the nose, throat, and sinuses. His latest report, after a full year and a half, says no adverse effects from smoking Chesterfield. Don't you want to try a cigarette with a record like this? Chesterfield, regular or king size, they're low in nicotine, highest in quality, best for you.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, June 3rd. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of burglary detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Captain Wisdom. My name's Friday. We'd just been relieved from stakeout, and we were on our way to get something to eat. It was 12:27 a.m. when we got to the corner of Fedora and Ardmore Streets. The Cakes and Griddle Cafe.
Here's a couple back here, Joe.
Yeah, that's fine.
What'll it be, fellas?
You got a menu?
Up there on the board.
Huh? Oh, yeah. How's the hash?
Doing pretty good. We're out of it.
I didn't think a restaurant was ever out of hash.
We are.
Uh-huh.
You want to give me a stack of wheat cakes, some bacon, and a cup of coffee, please?
Hey, that sounds good. I'll have the same. But make mine plain hotcakes and sausage on the side, will you?
Yeah. Well, you want the coffee now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Come on.
Say, put an egg on my hotcakes, huh?
Yeah.
Over light?
Over light.
Yeah. Well, I'm hungry, Joe.
Well, I figured that.
Is that the morning paper you got there?
Yeah, this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Hand it over, will you?
There you are.
Thanks.
What's on the front page?
I'm looking at the sports, Joe.
A lot of news there. Do you want to know what's going on in the world?
Joe, I like the sports. I get the news all the time. My boys, the Hollywood Stars, won again. Puts them 9 up. Looks like they might win the pennant.
Good.
Dale Long sure knocking them in.
Who?
Dale Long.
Oh.
Joe, you're not much of a baseball fan, are you?
Yeah, I like to watch the series on TV.
It's going to be pretty good. Looks like the Yanks and the Dodgers.
Here's your coffee.
Oh, thank you.
The rest will be right here.
Good.
You fellas new in the neighborhood, aren't you?
What's that?
You're new around here, aren't you?
Yeah.
Stevens got 3 hits.
Most of our trade is neighborhood people. Come in for coffee and cakes on the way home from the show. I could tell you fellas are new here. Haven't seen you before.
Yeah.
I'll get the rest of the order.
Fine.
We got 1 RBI.
What?
Stevens got 1 RBI.
You got a what?
RBI, Joe. Run, batted.
Oh,
in.
yeah.
RBI.
I know what you mean.
Yes.
I didn't understand what you said.
You got to know all that stuff to really watch a game.
Yeah, I know that.
Here you go, fellas. Wheat cakes and bacon, hot cakes and sausage.
Wait a minute. Where's the egg?
Inside.
Where?
Inside.
Oh, look, Joe, underneath there, see?
Yeah.
Egg underneath.
Here's the syrup.
Thank you.
I sure had some excitement around here.
All right.
Yeah. Don't you guys read the papers?
He does.
Yeah.
Sports page.
No, I mean the front page.
What's been going on? He won't tell me.
All the burglaries. Been 17 of them in the last 5 weeks. It's running the cops silly.
Is that so?
Sure. They don't know where they're going. Running them silly. Say, you like a little more coffee?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, please. Very good coffee, too. You make it yourself here?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Put a head on this, too, will you?
Fine. There have been at least 5 detectives in here in the last couple of weeks asking questions. Trying to come up with a lead.
Mm-hmm.
Sure running them ragged. You guys haven't read about it, huh?
Yeah, I think I've seen something about it somewhere.
It's pretty funny. Just get this picture. Now get it. A guy. They figure it's one fella. He walks up to the back of the house. First off, he's sure there's nobody home. Then he walks up to one of the windows and punches a hole in the screen. Jimmies the window, walks right in and lifts the jewelry in the house and takes off. Just as cool as can be. They figure he's hitting the places between 6 and 9. You get that? Between 6 and 9 p.m. They must have half the cops in the force looking for the guy. They're running rings around him. How's the cakes?
Fine.
Good. We got kind of secret recipe here. Wife made it up. Anyway, I was talking to one of the people who had it. You know, one of the victims, guy over on Hobart. He said the cops came in and went all over his house, took fingerprints, pictures, all that. Worked on his house for about 5 hours. Went all over the backyard looking for footprints. And you know what they came up with?
No.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. All that time, all those men, and they didn't come up with nothing. He sure got the cops running in circles.
You got a check? Check.
Oh, yeah, here you go. Stack of wheats, bacon, hot sausage and egg, 2 coffees. I won't charge you for the refills.
That's very nice of you, thank you.
Oh, that's all right. Let's see, it comes to $1.25. Taxes $1.29.
Okay. You got any pennies, Frank?
Yeah, I got 2.
Here, take a nickel, break it apart.
Wait a minute, I'll get my wallet, Joe. Maybe I got a couple in there.
Hey, how come you guys are carrying guns? You ain't gonna hold up the place, are you? There isn't any money here.
We're police officers.
Detectives?
Yeah.
Oh. Say, I hope you guys ain't sore about what I said. About you running in circles.
No, forget it. That's all right.
Well, now, come on. Let this one be on the house. Take your money back. Sort of a way to say I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
Forget it.
I'd like to pop for the cakes.
No, thanks. Thanks just the same.
Well, hope you come back again.
Sure.
Say, just a minute.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
About this fellow who's been pulling the jobs.
Yeah.
When do you figure you're going to get him?
When he runs out of circles. The papers had carried the story since the 5th burglary. As the thefts continued, the stories grew in importance. The thief had been operating in the same general area. On each report, the crime lab had been sent out, pictures were taken, fingerprints were lifted. When the sum total of evidence was weighed and sifted, we were able to establish the fact that we were looking for the same man or men. He was in possession of a 1/4-inch punch, which he used on the screens, and a 1/2-inch jimmy, which he used to pry open the windows. From traces of fabric that he left on the 4th job, we knew that he wore cotton gloves. We had no physical description of him to work with, nothing but the M.O. that he used. The stats office had made run after run looking for a lead. The possibles that they'd turned up were checked out, but they netted us nothing. Communications had been gotten off to the rest of the nation asking for information on known criminals who used the same M.O., but the replies were of no help. All recently released convicts from the state penitentiaries and work farms were checked. We found nothing. The pawn shops in the Southland were alerted to be on the lookout for the stolen goods. Again, nothing. Informants and other sources of information were questioned and re-questioned, and at the end of 5 weeks, we were right back where we started. The newspapers took up the stories in full force. They ran cartoons of the thief, picturing him as an invisible phantom who could almost announce the time of the next housebreaking to the police and then proceed according to plan without interference. Every known method of apprehending the burglar was tried. None of them worked. Captain Wisdom assigned 4 other teams of men to the case. Metro Division sent out another 2 cars to aid in the rolling stakeout. Apparently, we were stopped cold. 2 more days passed, and on Friday, June 5th, we got a report of another burglary. 9:36 a.m. Frank and I left the office to check it out.
Yes, something you want?
We'd like to see Miss Santos if we could.
Who are you?
Police officers, ma'am. Is Miss Santos in?
Oh, well, I'm her. Come on in.
Thank you.
Come on, hurry up. I don't want to let the flies into the house.
Yes, ma'am.
Whew, never saw so many flies around as this summer. Sit down.
Thank you.
Can I get you anything? Cup of coffee?
No, thank you.
You don't mind if I have some?
No, you go right ahead.
Just having another cup before I get started on the house, sort of the lull before the storm.
Ma'am?
The kids are downstairs playing. They'll be up in a minute. They get to running around. It's impossible to get anything done.
Yes, ma'am.
All I can do is get a second cup of coffee in the morning. Excuse me, Mint. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Just make yourself comfortable.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now then, this is about the burglar last night, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. We'd like to go over the list of stolen articles with you.
Uh-huh, that's it. Everything they took.
I'd like to check it if we can.
Wasn't anything else in the house for him to take?
Well, let's see here. According to what we have on the report, you listed $47 in cash,
Yeah, that's from the jar.
Ma'am?
We got a little candy jar upstairs. Keep loose change in it. Whenever I have anything left over for my household money, I put in there. Anthony, he's my husband.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, whenever Anthony's got any loose change in his pocket, he drops it in there. Adds up in time. $47.
Yes, ma'am. You're pretty sure about the amount now.
Yeah, you see, we keep a little piece of paper in the jar. Got the amount written on it so as we can tell how much we've added to it.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever stole the money didn't take the paper, just the money. Had exactly $47.
Yes, ma'am. Now, you list a ruby and diamond woman's wristwatch, is that right?
Going to use it for a trip to Las Vegas.
Big fine?
We were going to use the money in the jar for a trip to Las Vegas. Only needed $150 more. Now we got to start all over again.
Yes, ma'am. Now, about the watch?
Oh, yeah, well, they stole that, too. Had 2 rubies on one side, 3 diamonds on the other, little gold band. Took that, too. Anniversary present from Anthony. He's my husband.
Uh-huh.
Gave it to me on our 5th anniversary, February 2nd.
Now, you list a diamond ring. Wonder if you can give us a little better description of the ring.
My engagement ring. Solitaire, not very big. Had it on my dressing table on one of those little ring gadgets. You know, the little block of wood on the little stick?
Yes, ma'am.
You put your rings on it when you're doing the dishes? Not very big.
Yes, ma'am. Now, was there anything else of value taken?
No. A couple of cheap little costume pieces, bracelet, couple of pins, nothing really worth anything.
I'd like to have descriptions of the pieces if we can.
I can give them to you.
All right, fine.
You really think you're going to be able to catch the fellow that took the things?
Well, we don't know. We're sure going to try. Have there been any strangers that you've noticed in the neighborhood lately?
No, none that I can think of right off.
Any strange cars, ma'am?
You married, officer?
Yes, ma'am.
Got any kids?
Yes, ma'am, too.
Mm-hmm. Will you just ask your wife how much time she's got to take notice of cars driving up and down the street, noticing whether people are loitering in front of the house or not? You just ask her. She'll tell you. You men all the time talking about the modern conveniences. Help out the housework. Just zip and the house is clean with the vacuum. Swish the dishes around. They're all clean with the new soaps.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, maybe it's better than our mothers had it, but they still haven't come up with nothing short of a straitjacket that'll keep you from having to run after the kids all day.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
ask your wife. She'll tell you.
Yes, ma'am.
You ask yours, too. You'll see.
I'm not married, Miss Sanders.
Well, then you wouldn't know. Well, you can talk to his wife. Those fellas last night, they get any clues?
We haven't checked with them yet, ma'am.
Seems like they should be able to tell something about who did it. All that powder they was putting around, the pictures they was taking, all the excitement. Took me 2 hours after they left before I could get the kids to sleep. All that trouble, they should have something that's going to get the things back. Sure know one thing.
What's that, ma'am?
Man that stole the watch, wish they'd taken the book.
Beg pardon?
The record book. It was right in the drawer of the dressing table. The way those people at the store are, if you don't find them, they will.
I don't believe I understand, Miss Sanders.
The people where he bought the wristwatch. They'll find him, sure. They won't let him get away with it.
Ma'am?
The watch, it isn't paid for.
10:42 a.m. We started to canvass the neighborhood. For the next hour, we talked to the people in the houses on both sides of the street. None of them could add anything to the story given us by the latest victim. 12 noon, Frank and I called the office and told them we'd be out for 7. As we were leaving our car, a tall, elderly man approached us. He identified himself as Ross Dunham. He explained that he lived in the corner house on the same street as Mrs. Santos.
Yeah, my wife told me you were about the house this morning.
Yes, sir, we were.
Got something that maybe you can use.
What's that, Mr. Dunn?
Well, I noticed it right off. Didn't want to say anything about it to the missus. You know, women get upset. Thought it'd be better not to mention it.
Yes, sir, what is it?
Night before last, Thursday, I saw the car.
What car was that, sir?
The one I want to tell you about. I was going downtown to tell you officers about it. Felt kind of like it was my duty. You know, public spirit.
Yes, sir. How about the car?
Well, it was kind of warm night. Mrs. and I were sitting out on the porch in the glider, just taking the night air. Then I saw the car go by. Didn't think much about it at first.
I see.
Must have been about 6:30, right after supper. We just sitting there, taking the air, having a glass of iced tea. Then I saw the car go by again, slow-like he was looking the houses over.
Could you describe the car for us, sir?
Yeah, got written right down here someplace. Car went by the house 2 more times that night. 4 times all told. 4.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think I got it in my wallet. Might have left it in my other pants. I thought... Oh, no, here it is. There it is. Even got the license number.
Yes, sir.
Is it going to help?
Well, we don't know, sir. We'll check it out.
Can I have that paper, please? I'll call it in, Joe. Have him check the MV.
Right.
Sure hope it gives you guys some help. The way the burglar's been running around here, terrible. The man isn't safe to leave his house. I've been thinking about having those little bell alarms put on the window.
Did the officers talk to you last night, sir?
You mean when they came out to see Mrs. Santos?
Yes, sir.
No, they didn't. I saw the police car. Thought about going down to talk to them. But the missus would have wanted to know what was going on. Told her about the car, and it had upset her. She's kind of nervous. Breaks out in a rash whenever anything happens like this.
I see.
Got just about every kind of ointment in the world. Doctor says it's in her mind. Says it's all in her imagination. You believe that?
Well, I wouldn't know, sir.
I don't put much stock in it. I used to get rashes when I'd eat fresh peaches. Don't anymore, though.
See you in a minute, Joe.
Yeah, would you excuse me, Mr. Dunham?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Did you get anything?
Yeah. Didn't have any trouble making the car. Got a good suspect.
Yeah, who?
Guy named Oakes.
Oakes?
Yeah. Works on a burglary. It's a police car.
We thanked Mr. Dunham for his cooperation in the attempt to help us. As a public-minded citizen, he'd done what he thought was right. During the time we'd been working on the case, we'd turned up dozens of well-meaning citizens who wanted to cooperate. Each of the tips, no matter how remote, we checked out. This meant using additional man-hours and pulling officers off other assignments to investigate the possible leads. But in every event, we appreciated the tips. 3 more days passed. The thief hit once more. In spite of the close surveillance we were keeping on the area, he somehow managed to get into the vicinity, commit the crime, and leave without being observed. The pressure from local citizens clubs and insurance companies got a little heavier. On Tuesday morning, June 10th, a meeting was held in Chief of Detectives Thad Brown's office. The detail and results of our investigation were gone over again. Additional bulletins were gotten out requesting information on the M.O. The area of the rolling stakeout was increased to 96 square blocks. That's 2 square miles. A new plan for surveillance was worked out. Under the new conditions, we were able to keep the entire neighborhood under almost constant watch. Additional teams of men were assigned from Metro Division. To date, the thief had stolen jewelry, money, and other personal property amounting to a little over $8,000. The check on the pawn shops was tightened, but none of the merchandise turned up in the normal outlets. Every night between the hours of 5:30 and midnight, the dragnet of the area was put into effect. During the next week, the theft stopped completely. Apparently, we'd stopped the burglar, but we still hadn't caught him. Wednesday, June 17th. I checked in for work.
Joe?
Yeah?
I think we got something.
What's that?
I was just down the hall with Bates.
Yeah.
I checked out the FI cards that have been filed in the area we're working. Came up with one possible.
Yeah, what do you got on it?
A guy named Boyd Hall. He was stopped 4 times in the last week in different locations in the same general area. Told the officers he was on his way home.
How do you spell that name?
B-O-Y-D, Boyd Hall.
Mm-hmm. You got his address?
Yeah, better check it out. I ran the name through R&I and came up with 8. 3 of them back in the joint, 1 dead, other 4 have to be checked out. Descriptions don't fit too well.
Let me see there.
Yeah, here you are.
You better get right out there, huh?
Now, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Might be something, huh?
I don't know. We're due for a break. 15 minutes later, we turned off Vermont Avenue onto Venice Boulevard. 4 blocks to the left, and we turned onto Dewey Street. Another block and a half, and we pulled up in front of the address.
Well, this is 1800. Ought to be right here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're still batting 1,000.
1804 Dewey.
Yeah. Vacant lot.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
It's so satisfying to know that my Chesterfield is low in nicotine, highest in quality.
Chesterfield, low in nicotine, highest in quality. A fact proved by chemical analyses of the country's 6 leading cigarette brands.
And it's so satisfying to know that a doctor who has been making thorough examinations, especially of the nose, throat, and sinuses, reports no adverse effects from smoking Chesterfields.
His report is a part of a program supervised by a responsible independent research laboratory and is based on thorough bi-monthly examinations of a group of Chesterfield smokers over a period of 1.5 years.
That's 18 full months now. Don't you want to smoke a cigarette with a record like this? Regular or king size.
Chesterfield is low in nicotine, highest in quality. Best for me, best for you.
Wednesday, June 17th, 8:48 a.m. We canvassed the neighborhood around the vacant lot. None of the people had ever heard of Boyd Hall. We asked about anyone answering the description listed on the FI cards. The neighbors couldn't help us there either. 11:17 a.m. We returned to the office and we started to check out the remaining 4 possibles. All of them were able to establish alibis for the time of the burglaries, and they were eliminated as suspects. We got in touch with the officers who'd filed the FI cards. They remembered the man. Each of the teams of men who'd stopped him had asked for identification. He produced a driver's license, personal cards, and several letters to himself bearing the Dewey Street address. He told the officers that he'd lived in the neighborhood and that he was returning to his home from a grocery store. The officers had checked the bag of groceries he was carrying and found nothing suspicious and let him proceed on his way. We got in touch with Sergeant Zook at the warrant office and asked him to check and see if there were any outstanding traffic warrants on Boyd Hall. He called back to tell us there were none. APBs and local broadcasts were sent out asking for information on anyone answering the description using the name Boyd Hall. We got in touch with the Department of Motor Vehicles and asked them to give us all the information they could on the suspect carrying California operator's license number Z941511, issued 12/5/52. They checked their files and told us that there was no record of a Boyd Hall being issued that particular license number. They also stated that no number had been given out on the Z series. This left little doubt that the license was a forgery and the name was an alias. In the meantime, the rolling stakeout continued. 2 days passed while we followed down leads. Saturday, June 20th, Frank and I were in position for the night surveillance, 8:30 p.m.
Joe, up at the corner getting off the streetcar?
Yeah, maybe.
Description fits.
Carrying a shopping bag. Now, let's take a look.
Right.
Pull up here is good.
Right.
Excuse me, fella.
We're going to have to go through this again.
Beg your pardon?
You're police officers, aren't you?
Yes, sir, we are.
And you want to see my identification?
Yes, sir, that's right.
All right. Be glad when you fellas find whatever it is you're looking for. You know, this is the 5th time I've been stopped.
Is that right?
Yeah. Here, will you hold this shopping bag for me?
Sure. Hey, what you got in here?
Loaf of bread, groceries. I got my driver's license in my wallet. Here.
Could you take it out of your wallet, please?
Sure. There. See?
Mm-hmm. Boyd Hall. That's your true name?
That's what it says.
1804 Dewey Street, and that's where you live?
Yeah. Just came back from the store.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're sorry we bothered you, Mr. Hall.
Perfectly all right. I know you're only doing what we pay you for.
I'll tell you what, to make up for causing any inconvenience, let us drive you home, could we?
Oh, that's not necessary. It's just a couple of blocks. I don't mind a walk. Don't like to put you fellas out.
Well, don't worry about it. Get in the back seat, huh?
Really, I appreciate the thought, but it's not necessary.
Want to get in the back there?
All right.
Want to take the shopping bag in front, Frank?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Hall.
The way you guys acted, you'd think there was something wrong.
Nothing is it?
No, I was just saying the way you guys... Never mind.
How long you lived in this neighborhood, Hall?
A little while. We just bought the house.
About how long would you say?
Not long.
How long?
A couple of months.
I think it's right at the next block, Frank.
Yeah.
Say, I sure appreciate this, but you guys don't have to go out of your way. Just drop me off the corner. I can walk. It's just a little ways down.
No, it's no trouble at all.
Here we are.
Well, I sure want to thank you, officers. It's a real pleasure to know that our taxes are paying for the kind of service you've just given me.
Well, it's going to get a little better.
Hmm?
Never mind. Want to get out of the car, we'll walk up with you.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll carry the bag for you.
Well, it might be better if I took it.
No, no trouble.
Now, which is your house, Hall?
This one right here.
Mm-hmm. That's 1802. Then that one's 1806. Let's walk down a little further, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Now, if we figure correctly, 1804 would be right here, wouldn't it?
Don't suppose it'd do any good to say somebody stole the house.
No, I don't suppose it would. You want to tell us about it?
Yeah, I might as well.
Now, let's get back in the car. All right.
Well, what do you got in this shopping bag? Sure is heavy. Let's see. A box of breakfast cereal. And a loaf of French bread. You ought to take this bread back, Hall. Look here, somebody cut it right in half. See here, Joe?
Yeah.
All hollowed out. Punch and a jimmy inside. Burglary tools.
You want to tell us where you got them? How about it, Hall? All right, let's go, Frank.
Yeah.
Suppose you guys think you're pretty smart, don't you?
No, not particularly. It took us 8 weeks to catch you.
I should have let it go. Should have gotten out while the getting was good.
Yeah, you should have.
How you going to know? I figured 10 weeks and then quit. Another 2 weeks. That's all I needed.
Where's the stuff you took?
Hotel room.
You shoved any of it yet?
No, it's all there. Every bit of it but the money. I lived on that. Figured when I got enough, I'd hit for the border, sell it in Mexico.
Let's stop on the way and pick it up, huh?
All right, place over on 6th. I'll show you.
This isn't another vacant lot, is it?
No, this is a McCoy. You know, I had it all figured, all the way down the line, every angle. Hey, how about it? Answer a question for me.
All right.
Is there any way to beat it, any way to come out on top?
Well, you know the answer to that one better than we do. You tried. What do you think?
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On October 15th, trial was held in Department 96, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. Friends, as you heard George tell you earlier, we received the full 1.5 year report. It comes from the doctor who's been examining Chesterfield smokers with special attention to the nose, throat, and sinuses. Now, the report shows again no adverse effects from smoking Chesterfields. I think that's very important to you as a smoker, and I hope you'll keep it in mind next time you buy cigarettes and get Chesterfields. Regular or king size, Chesterfields are low in nicotine, highest in quality. Best for you.
Lawrence Philip Harris, alias Boyd Hall, was tried and convicted on 6 counts of burglary in the first degree and received sentence as prescribed by law. Burglary in the first degree is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for a period of not less than 5 years.
Dragnet wishes to thank the editors of McCall's magazine for their interesting personal story about Jack Webb, Nobody's Man Friday, in the current September issue of McCall's.
You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Peter Leeds, Joyce McCluskey, Harry Bartell. Script by John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Watch an entirely new Dragnet case history each week on your local NBC television station. Please check your newspaper for day and time. Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
Have you tried new cork-tipped Fatima? It's the smooth smoke. Here's why. New Fatima tips of perfect cork, king size for longer filtering, and Fatima quality for a much better flavor and aroma. Remember, Fatima has the tip for your lips. Try new Fatima. See how smooth it is. Fatima is made by the makers of Chesterfield, Liggett & Myers, one of tobacco's most respected names.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Detective, brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic, the non-alcoholic hair tonic that contains lanolin. Wild Root Cream Oil, again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Sam Spade Detective Agency.
Me, sweetheart.
Sam, how did it go?
It was the end, Effie, but the end.
Oh, Sam, not another one of those society things.
Depends on what you mean by society.
Well, you know, Sam, cafe society, cocktails for two, hands across the table. Make it another old-fashioned, please.
Let's not lose our head, Effie. Nothing but double martinis, very dry, with 2 olives, sweetheart.
2 olives? Oh, Sam, isn't that overdoing it?
It was all overdone, sweetheart. That's what cranked it. Now, stay right where you are. I'll be right down to mix up my report on the Dry Martini Caper. Get it?
Dashiell Hammett, America's leading detective fiction writer and creator of Sam Spade, the hard-boiled private eye, and William Spear, radio's outstanding producer-director of mystery and crime drama, join their talent to make your hair stand on end with the adventures of Sam Spade. Presented by the makers of Wild Root Cream Oil for the hair. August is always a great vacation month. And for those of you planning to take your vacation soon, let me suggest that when you're packing, be sure you include a bottle and a handy tube of Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. For no matter where you go, you can always depend on Wild Root Cream Oil to groom your hair neatly and naturally, relieve dryness, and remove loose dandruff. Yes, you can take it with you on your vacation, and you should. Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. And now, with Howard Duff starring as Spade, Wild Root brings to the air the greatest private detective of them all in The Adventures of Sam Spade.
You look sober as an owl.
Wise as an owl, sober as a judge, F.
Oh. Well, the way you talked on the phone, I thought you drowned the shamrock, kissed the Black Betty, spliced the main brace, decorated the mahogany, made a Dutch bargain, or, in a word, gone to give a Chinaman a music lesson.
Effie, I wish you'd spend more time with Harper's Bazaar while I'm gone and less with the thesaurus of slang. Didn't know I could say that. Are you sober?
Well, I've been riding the choo-choo, drinking Adam's ale. And if you don't believe it, just ask me to walk or talk.
Okay, here's your toasty. Arms akimbo, eyes glazed.
Yes, sir.
Now then, tip of the forefinger to the tip of the nose.
Oh, Sam, it makes me dizzy.
Dizzy Gillespie?
Dizzy go. Oh, Sam.
Exactly. And you are not sewn up, shagged, shellacked, shickered, stuccoed, tap-shackled, stiffo, or real crazy.
Well, you know best, Sam.
Good. Now try this one.
Yes, Prez.
Sitting posture, limbs cruciform.
What?
Cheesecake stop.
Oh, Sam.
That's it. Now place the notebook. Just a little higher. Good. Now apply the tip of the pencil to the top of the fool's cap and proceed viz.
Viz.
Date. August 1st, 1948. To Mrs. Netta Martini, 1000 Marina Boulevard, San Francisco. From Samuel Spade, license number 127596. Subject, Dear Netta. The first I knew of the caper was day before yesterday morning when I saw your husband's picture in the paper. It was one of those lovingly retouched executive-type photographs of a man in his late 40s or early 50s, graying at the temples and wearing an embalmed man of distinction look. The story was headlined, Corporation Head Waylaid by Mysterious Assailant. Chauffeur foils would-be kidnappers at offices of Martini Trading Company. The item under it wasn't as thrilling as the headline. Sounded as if he'd been knocked down for his wallet and the attempted kidnapping had been dreamed up by a bored city news reporter. I tossed it in the wastebasket along with my morning mail and went back to the Police Gazette. On page 3, the phone rang. Unique Garage, Harry speaking.
Mrs. Spade?
One moment. Who's calling?
Gordon Martini.
Not Gordon Martini, the corporation head, waylaid by mysterious assailant.
Chairman of the board, and there's nothing mysterious about it.
Then what are you doing on this phone?
I can't talk on the phone.
Where are you? In a hospital?
I left that pest house this morning. I'm at my residence, 1000 Marina Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
It will take you exactly 20 minutes by cab. You will meet me in front of the building, and we'll have our conference in my car en route to the office.
Where's your office?
Downtown Post Street.
Oh, why don't I meet you there?
I'm a busy man. I have a full calendar. I'm already late due to all that hospital red tape. But I can fit you into my schedule if you'll hurry. Now, look alive, man.
Well, it's a little early in the morning, but I'm trying hard.
Good. What will you want for a retainer?
I'll let you know if I decide to take the job.
Fair enough. 20 minutes. I'll expect you.
I should have looked more alive. It took me 2 minutes to get onto the street, 1 minute to flag down a cab, and 18 minutes to reach your address, Netta. A total of 21 minutes. As my taxi drew up to the curb in front of the canopied entrance to the corner apartment house at 1000 Marina, I saw your husband pacing indignantly up and down in front of the entrance, pausing only to glare at the outsized chronometer on his left wrist. His gray Homburg was perched atop an outsized turban of gauze bandage that decorated his head.
You're Spade. You're exactly 1 minute and 22 seconds late.
Hours are made of minutes, minutes are made of seconds. In killing this seemingly negligible interval of time, you have wounded an hour.
Oh, I have. Well, I'm sorry. The traffic's pretty heavy out here this hour of the morning, you know.
You should have started a minute and 22 seconds earlier.
I'm sorry there was a bore on the telephone, kept talking about how valuable his time was.
No, well, don't apologize. Only waste more time. Now, here's your check, $100. My car's just around the corner. I paid that chauffeur a large salary. We mustn't keep him waiting. In the meantime, you may as well start earning your fee.
I've been earning it for the past 22 minutes and 22 seconds.
Right. I suspected as much. You drive a car?
Yeah, you mean one man drives all that?
I see him, that rascally chauffeur of mine. Sleep in the back seat. All right, come out of there, you. Hey, what?
I was behind him and a little to the right. The shock of the rapid-fire 30-caliber slugs lifted him off his feet and knocked him against me. I went down under his 300 pounds of dead weight. By the time I rolled him off of me and got up, the gunman had jumped out of the limousine and into a gray sedan that was double parked alongside. In the welter of traffic on the boulevard, I didn't dare risk throwing a shot after him, but I did get the first 3 numbers of the license plate before it buried itself in the heavy stream of AM commuters. That's when the air changed from exhaust fumes to something out of a Persian garden. I turned and looked for the first time into your Nile green eyes, Netta, and saw you twisting a handkerchief in your pale hands I might have loved beside the Shalimar, but on Marina Boulevard they looked like hysterics dead ahead.
Who did it? You saw him. Don't lie to me. Why don't they come with me? Why are all those people standing around there staring at me? Make them go away. Make them go away. I can't stand it.
Stop it, will you? That's better. Now, come on over here. Who are you, his wife?
Yes. And it was all my fault. This is the end. I called Ernie out the window and asked him to come upstairs. I wanted him to return some lingerie. They sent the wrong color, Pete.
Yeah. Who's Ernie?
He's our chauffeur. I was looking for the exchange slip when we heard the shots. Is he dead this time?
Yeah, don't go to pieces.
Poor Gordon, he had so many enemies. He didn't drink well, you know. People dropped us like flies.
Well, they certainly dropped your husband.
Are you a policeman?
No, but I'll do until the real thing comes along, which is right now. If I were you, lady, I'd go back upstairs and relax. They'll get to you soon enough.
Yes, I suppose you're right. Poor Gordon, he looks so natural stretched out on the pavement.
Yeah.
I keep thinking he'll get up and stagger on into the elevator. He didn't drink at all well.
Go on, will you?
All right, I'm going. Oh, Ernie, where did you go?
Down at the garage. I heard a car driving. Poor Mr. Martini. It's all my fault.
No, Ernie, it's mine. If I only hadn't mislaid that exchange slip.
What?
You know, when I called you out the window to come and get that package.
Oh, that.
What do we got here? Who's the witness?
Me.
Oh, Spade. Lost another client, huh?
Not quite. I hadn't cashed the check yet.
Well, they got him anyway. All right, pull a space in there. Let him through with that stretcher. Step over here out of the crowd, Sam. I want to get that statement.
Yeah. Okay, Gary, take it down.
Got a pencil?
Yeah, and I want it back.
Let's have it.
This guy was Gordon Martini. He headed up a local firm, the Martini Trading Company. Last night he was working late at his office. Got boinged. Phoned me this morning. Didn't know why. Thought maybe he wanted a bodyguard. Anyway, he needed one. Gunman was crouched in the back seat of the limousine, shoved the carbine out when Martini opened the door.
Carbine?
Didn't get a good look at him. You can see why, the way it's closed in, no side windows.
Foreign car, isn't it?
Stop drooling. You can't afford one. You getting all this?
What about the getaway?
Martini fell on top of me. I saw the getaway car in the back of his head.
Yeah.
The car was a gray sedan. The back of his head was a standard make, too. Only got the first 3 digits of license plate, 5D9.
5D9. Anything else?
Yeah, give me back my pencil. The homicide boys want some help. They know my fee.
Mr. Spade.
This is Martini. Why aren't you and Ernie upstairs getting your alibis shaped up?
Oh, please, I can't face the questions just yet. Would it be legal if I just avoided them till I can collect myself?
I don't know about legal, but it might be smart.
Where can we talk?
What do you suggest?
Well, there's a little cocktail lounge up on Lombard where Ernie and it's just around the corner.
Very handy. Let's go.
Against my mother's advice, I should have listened, but, well, that's why I married Mr. Martini.
Well, that brings us up to 1943, and it's only 11:45.
You're just like him, always holding a stopwatch over my head.
Always?
Well, he drank, you know.
You told me that.
But it's much more important than you think. He often fell down and bumped his head.
You mean that mysterious assailant that waylaid him last night in his office was a double martini?
2 pitchers full before dinner. Ernie had to carry him up to his office.
Well, what did he go up there for?
Oh, we had an appointment with the vice president of the firm, Mr. Nesbitt. Something had come up, and he wanted Gordon to sign some papers. I don't know what. It wasn't the first time. I waited outside in the car. After Ernie had taken him upstairs, he came back to the car, and we talked.
Ernie has alibis upstairs, downstairs, and all around the house.
Well, then when the others came out and Gordon didn't, Ernie went upstairs to see why.
Others? Mr. Nesbitt and who else?
Mary Callahan.
Secretary?
No, she's an attorney. And if you think everything was legal between those two, well, but after all, who am I to call the kettle black?
Now, what are you trying to tell me? That you got him drunk so they could make him sign some papers? That he got himself drunk so he couldn't write his name? Or that he just got drunk and fell down?
Between you and me, I think she pushed him down a flight of stairs. In his condition, he never remembered.
Why are you putting the finger on the Callahan dame?
Well, what would you think? She was the last one out of the building.
Why didn't you want to tell all this to the police?
Well, I didn't want to talk about his drinking. Things were bad enough already. That would have been the end.
Well, that's as good an answer as any. What do you want me to do for you?
Prove that she did it and Ernie didn't.
I'll let you take care of Ernie.
Oh, no. I don't want to alibi him unless I have to. He might get the wrong idea.
You mean I've got the wrong idea?
He might think it meant I still care for him, and I don't. I can't stand him anymore. The way he chews those toothpicks. And besides, if his alibi is too good, I might have trouble about that carbine in the backseat of my car.
Pardon me, it sounded as if you said you might have trouble about a carbine in the backseat of your car.
That's what I said.
Where is your car?
In the garage. But somebody had it out this morning. They scraped the fender coming back in, and they ran into the wall. They must have been in an awful hurry.
Tell me, this car of yours, it wouldn't be a gray sedan?
Yes.
License number?
Oh, wait a minute. It's on my key ring. Here, 5D90.
That's enough. Why didn't you tell me this before?
Well, I couldn't get up the nerve. After I heard you tell that policeman the gun that killed Gordon was a carbine and the gray sedan and all that, well, it's the end.
I hoped you were right, but I didn't think so. When I went to look at the gray sedan in your garage, I knew you were wrong, dead wrong. It was the getaway car, all right, and the carbine, as you know, was proven later to be the one that killed your husband. But Ernie had turned into a very poor suspect indeed. He was hugging the carpet between the front and rear seats, and when I nudged him, he didn't move. He'd been shot at closer range than Gordon Martini, and the killer had used only one slug. It was planted in the base of his brain, which made him not only a very poor suspect, but a very dead one.
The makers of Wild Root Cream Oil are presenting the weekly Sunday adventure of Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, Sam Spade. If you want the well-groomed look that helps you get ahead socially and on the job, listen. Recently, thousands of people from coast to coast who bought Wild Root Cream Oil for the first time were asked, how does Wild Root Cream Oil compare with the hair tonic you previously used? Better than 4 out of 5 who replied said they preferred Wild Root Cream Oil. And no wonder. Wild Root Cream Oil grooms the hair neatly and naturally, relieves annoying dryness, and removes loose dandruff. What's more, non-alcoholic Wild Root Cream Oil is the only leading hair tonic that contains soothing lanolin. So ask for Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. By the way, smart girls use Wild Root Cream Oil, too. And mothers say it's grand for training children's hair. And now, back to the Dry Martini Caper. Tonight's adventure with Sam Spade.
Martini Trading Company, good afternoon. I'm sorry, Mr. Nesbitt is in conference. I'll see that he gets your message. Well, what can I do for you?
I would like to see Miss Callahan.
Miss Callahan is in conference with Mr. Nesbitt.
Good. I would like to see them both.
But I have orders not to disturb them.
You do not have to. I will.
Just a minute. You can't go breaking in like that.
Yes, and I'll tell you something else. You won't ever get away with it. Why, everyone in this town knows about your underworld connection.
Why, you doddering old fool, when I get through with you, if you don't go to the gas chamber for Gordon Martini's murder, you'll wish you
Come
had. bad.
If I go to the gas chamber, it'll be for killing you, not Gord.
Oh, you said it. Oh, why didn't I have witnesses here?
Miss Callahan?
Did you hear that?
You weren't talking loud enough. I didn't hear a thing.
Well, come on in here and I'll tell you a thing or two. Close that door. Now, sit down.
Thanks. I listen better on my feet.
Oh, so you're the detective Netta Martini employed, eh? What's she paying you?
That'll depend on how much I have to do for it.
Well, I'll tell you how much you'll have to do for her. You'll have to make a case against me, and that's not going to be easy.
Why do you think she's out to get you?
Why, indeed. For years, this moth-eaten mouthpiece, this parboiled Portia, has been victimizing poor Gordon, taking advantage of his weakness for drink.
Oh,
Now that she's liquidated him, she appears with 55% of the common stock. Motive in that fact.
Why, you fraudulent old fool. I simply bought up his debts and threw an attachment on those stocks. Unethical, but perfectly legal.
Look,
But you're not even a proper thief. You're nothing but a bumbling old embezzler.
Now, listen
You had
here.
to tell because he was going to call in the auditors to look over those books of yours. The deed of double entry, Mr. Spade.
Look, will you save this for the courtroom scene? Now, you've convinced me. You're both crooked. I'll see that you both go up for something. That's a promise.
Mr. Spade, I gave you credit for better sense. Do you know that this Medusa of the magistrate's court, this harpy of the Hall of Justice, tricked him into changing the beneficiary of his insurance the very night she pushed him down the stairs?
And you were all in favor of it when you thought you held a controlling interest in the company. Answer that, Mr. Spade. He can't answer that.
Good. I'm glad one of you is temporarily lost for words. Now, I only want to know one thing, and I want a straight answer. And if either one of you starts off in another speech, I'm going to push you into the nearest cloakroom and lock you in together.
Why, you wouldn't dare.
Try me, sweetheart.
Well, what do you want to know about this Amazon ambulance chaser, this Trilby of the traffic court?
Watch it.
Well, what do you want to know?
About Martini's insurance policy. Now, you say he changed the beneficiary. Please answer in 10 words or less. Who was the beneficiary, and who is the beneficiary now?
I'll have to answer that question in two parts. The beneficiary was his wife. He changed it to the Martini Trading Company, a corporation of the state of California.
Thank you, and goodbye, Mary Callahan. And that nutter took the heat off of you for the time being, which made things tough for me. Because Callahan and Nesbitt were so horrible, I never wanted to see them again, even to testify against them in court. I was sure of one thing. None of you had pulled the trigger of that carbine. There'd been a hired killer behind it, and the way he operated, taking crazy chances in broad daylight in a crowded street, told me an important thing about him. That night, I made the rounds of the joints. At a plant called the Bing Room, I found a bouncer who'd tossed out a customer that run up a bill and tried to pay it with a $1,000 check. He sent me to the Atlas Hotel. The Atlas Hotel is off of 3rd Street down near the railroad yards. Not even a flea bag. The fleas sickened and died a long time ago. They couldn't take it. And from the look of the guests sprawled out in the mission furniture of the lobby, they wouldn't be able to much longer. A half-dead room clerk came back to the land of the living long enough to mutter a room number and wave me feebly toward a flight of crummy stairs.
Yeah, what do you want?
You, Hack Hartman?
Hey, you got anything for me, huh?
Yeah, I got news for you. Get back in the room. I'll tell you all about it.
Yeah. Well, come on in.
Drop the shiv.
Yeah, I'll drop it. I'll fix you. I'll cut you good. I'll cut you.
I'm glad you did that. You make it easy for me. Now get over there.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm not feeling so good.
You can feel a lot worse. Who hired you to put the burn on Martini?
You don't get nothing out of me.
Who gave you that check?
Oh, leave me alone.
I got all night, Hack, and I feel better than you do. Now, what'd you do with that check? I'll shake it if your teeth come out with it. Come on.
All right. Stop it. I don't feel so good.
Okay. Where?
Pocket. My shirt.
Don't reach. I'll get it. There was a company check, which is what I'd expected. It was for $1,000 drawn on the Golden Gate Trust and Loan. But I wasn't expecting to find the signature on the bottom line. It was signed in a bold, firm hand, Gordon Martini. Who was the penman on this?
He wrote it himself, right in front of me.
What was it supposed to be for?
He wanted I should knock off his brother.
You get mixed up?
Well, he's dead, ain't he?
That's what I mean. Gordon Martini's dead.
The papers got it wrong. That was his brother, his twin brother. And that other guy, that chauffeur, kept hanging around the garage so I couldn't get out. I I had to burn him, too.
You know what you're saying?
Yeah. I'm making sense. Now, get out of here. I'm getting steamed.
Don't let it worry you. I got a nice, cool place all picked out for you. After I turned Hack over to the cops, I did what checking I could on my own at that time of night. As nearly as I could learn, Gordon Martini could never have had a brother, twin or otherwise. He was a first child. His mother died in childbirth, and his father died 1 month later. So I went back to the offices of the Martini Trading Company, glass-keyed my way in, and made a quick frisk of it. There I learned that the signature on the check was indeed Gordon's, but that he had closed out his account at that bank the day he wrote it. I thought about that on the way out to your apartment.
Sam, I've been calling, trying to reach you. I've been so worried. It's the end.
This time you might be right. Fix me a drink.
Well, there's nothing in the house but those prepared martinis Gordon used to drink. Is that all right?
No, but fix me one anyway. Never mind the ice. It's not morning yet, but I hate myself already.
Why don't you just relax and let me get it for you?
I'll relax. You get the martinis.
What happened? What'd you think of Mary Callahan? Isn't she the end?
She's cute. You're all cute.
All of me? How nice. I'd put ice in anyway. It's nasty without.
It's nasty anyway.
I hope it doesn't make you fall down the way it did poor Gordon.
Thanks.
What's the matter? Too dry?
You open this bottle fresh?
Why, yes. What's the matter?
Where are they? The rest of the bottles. Oh, yeah. More of the same. Is this all your husband ever drank?
Yes, gallons of it. It's a special brand. He even took it with him to bars and people's houses. He'd sit and drink them right out of the bottle like a little child. Then he'd be falling down drunk, of course. And that's how we lost so many friends. They dropped us like...
Like flies. Yeah, it was the end.
Who are you phoning?
City morgue.
Maxie, Sam Spade.
Sammy, what can I do on you?
On Martini, Maxie. They got around to the autopsy yet?
Yeah, they rushed him through.
Got the report handy?
Right in front of me. Funny thing, Sam. The doc said they should have saved themselves the trouble. He'd have been dead in a week or two without no help.
What from?
Brain tumor. Malignant, it says here.
Any alcohol in him?
None from drinking, Sammy.
What about the head wounds?
Accidental fall due to periodic fainting spells. Part of his condition.
Thanks, Maxie.
Well, what is it, Sam? Were the martinis poison?
No, sweetheart. The martinis were colored water.
Why, they couldn't. Well, what made him get so drunk?
He didn't. He was sick.
But, Sam, who killed him?
He killed himself.
But he couldn't have.
He hired a gunman to do it. He planned his own murder.
But that... What? Well, why didn't he leave a note or something? He could have ruined us all.
Come here, sweetheart. Put your little head on Uncle Sam's shoulder.
What, Sam?
That's, just what he wanted you to do. He wanted to ruin you. He let Mary Callahan fleece him out of his interest in the company. He let Nesbitt juggle the books. He let you go your way with Ernie. He let all three of you fix yourselves up with as nice a set of motives for murder as a jury could ask for.
It couldn't have...
The real joker was the check he used to pay off the man he hired to kill him. It bounced. It also proved he'd planned his own murder. But he still has his revenge. Because the insurance that would have kept the corporation from going broke won't be paid off on account of a self-liquidating cause.
Oh, Sam, darling, what's going to become of us all?
Well, Callahan and Nesbitt will probably sue each other to death. You might have to go to work and earn a living.
Well, I have $500. I might invest it in something.
You already have. Here's my bill.
But, Sam, you didn't help me. What? This is the end.
No, it isn't, sweetheart. This is the beginning. Come here. Period. End of the end.
Well, you asked me. You helped her.
Now, F.
Well, that just goes to show you.
Show what, F?
Man's ingratitude to man. But what did Mr. Martini have against you?
Why, nothing, sweetheart. He just needed a smart operator like, Johnny Madero was under.
Sam. Have you cashed that check Mr. Martini gave you?
Well, not yet.
Sam, any bartender would know better than to take a check from a man who drinks that much.
F, you haven't been paying attention. He didn't drink. He didn't. I was able to establish that later on. You haven't been
At the
listening.
time, Sam, for all anybody knew, he was a hopeless drunk. He was, Sam. Oh, you're so wonderful and trusting. But I do wish that you'd understand this. He was a hopeless drunk.
For the last time, Effie, he didn't really drink.
I'll just type this up, Sam, while you call the bank.
I'll do that.
A final reminder, friends. Whether you're going on a long vacation trip or just a weekend to the beach, be sure you've got a bottle and tube of Wild Root Cream Oil tucked away in your suitcase. Do this, and you'll find it's easy and quick to spruce up again after stepping out of the water or off the tennis court. For no matter where or when you use it, Wild Root Cream Oil grooms your hair neatly and naturally, relieves dryness, removes loose dandruff. So at home and away from home, help yourself to handsome hair with Wild Root Cream Oil. And next time you have a chance, ask your barber for a professional application of Wild Root Cream Oil Hair Tonic. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first.
Well, here it is, Sam. I hope it was worth the price of the paper and carbons.
You made carbon copies of that? An unimportant report like that?
Oh, it bounced?
Well, the estate isn't settled yet.
Oh, Sam, you're so wonderful and trusting.
Effie, I am not wonderful and trusting. I am a hard-boiled private eye.
I know. Just a pity there's no money in it.
And I'm also two-fisted.
Sam, have you ever thought of ceramics?
Of what?
Ceramics. It takes virtually no capital. All you need is a small furnace and some clay. And if you don't have any talent, you can just make ashtrays.
Thanks, I already have one.
Oh, flower pots are fun. You can pop them on a wheel.
And you can pot your hat on and wheel on out of here and also take your furnace and clay.
Oh, I love you when you're so gay and carefree.
I am not gay and carefree.
You are a hard-boiled private eye.
Good night and sue me for your back salary, sweetheart.
The Adventures of Sam Spade, Dashiell Hammett's famous private detective, are produced and directed by William Spear. Sam Spade is played by Howard Duff. Lorene Tuttle is Effie. The Adventures of Sam Spade are written for radio by Bob Tallman and Gil Dowd, with musical direction by Lud Gluskin. Gil Dowd directed tonight's broadcast in William Spear's absence. Join us again next Sunday for another adventure with Sam Spade, brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil. Again and again, the choice of men who put good grooming first. This is Dick Joy reminding you to
get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. It keeps your hair in trim. You see, it's non-alcoholic, Charlie. It's made with Sula lanolin. You better get Wild Root Cream Oil, Charlie. Start using it today. You'll find that you will have a tough time, Charlie. Keeping all the gals away. Hiya, Baldy. Get Wild Root right away.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Sound off for Chesterfield. Chesterfield. Low in nicotine, highest in quality, best for you. Chesterfield brings you Dragnet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent. You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. A hold-up man has robbed the owner of a neighborhood grocery store. The victim has been beaten unmercifully with a sawed-off shotgun. The assailant has escaped into the city without a trace. Your job? Find him. Smokers by the thousands are now changing to Chesterfield, the only cigarette ever to give you 1, proof of low nicotine, highest quality. 2, this proven record with smokers. No adverse effects to the nose, throat, and sinuses from smoking Chesterfield. Chesterfield, regular or king size, low in nicotine, highest in quality, best for you.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, February 18th. It was raining in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Frank Smith. The boss is Chief of Detective Thad Brown. My name's Friday. The office had called me at 3:46 a.m., and by the time I got dressed and out in front of my apartment, it was 3:59 a.m. Frank was there waiting to pick me up.
What's the best way to get there?
Down the freeway, I guess, and cut over on the Liso, huh?
All right. Who called you, the hospital or the office?
The office. Said that Bailey had regained consciousness. We might be able to talk to him now.
The rain's going to slow us down.
Well, I better use the light and siren, Frank. We may not have much time.
Huh?
The way the skipper put it to me on the phone.
Yeah?
They still don't know if Bailey's going to live. Raymond Bailey was 62 years old. He owned and operated a small neighborhood grocery store on the corner of Whitman and Beacon Streets. 2 days before, on Monday night, a man had entered the store and at the point of a sawed-off shotgun had robbed Bailey. After emptying the cash register and the safe, he'd slugged the elderly man with the barrel of the gun and he'd fled. Bailey had been rushed to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital and then transferred to the county hospital for treatment. For the past 2 days, he'd been under heavy sedative and he'd been in a coma. He was suffering from a skull fracture, cuts, and bruises. His condition was listed as critical, and we'd left word to be called the minute he regained consciousness. 4:26 a.m. We got to the hospital. We went up to the 4th floor. We met and talked with the doctor who'd been taking care of Bailey. He told us that the patient had just been given another shot to ease the pain and that he'd probably drop off to sleep. We went into the hospital room and walked over to the side of the bed. It was a few minutes before the old man started to talk.
I'll tell you what I remember. All seemed kind of far away, like I read about it in a book. Not like it really happened to me.
All right, sir, if you just tell it in your own words, if you can.
What time is it?
It's 4:45, Mr. Bailey.
Who's that?
I'm Frank Smith.
Oh, you a policeman, too?
Yes, sir.
Oh, 4:45, huh? At day or night?
It's in the morning, sir.
I sure been out.
If you'd tell us what happened, sir.
How many of you are there in here?
But just the two of us.
Yeah. Way they got my head all bandaged, can't see. Say, officers.
Yes, sir?
Doctor said this is Wednesday. Is that true?
Yes, sir, that's right. Wednesday the 18th.
I can't figure where the time's gone. It can't be Wednesday. Why do you have to agree with him? Why don't you tell me for true?
Well, sir, you've been asleep for a couple of days.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Been pretty sick, huh?
That's what they tell us.
Mm-hmm. Seems like every time I turn around and give me another shot. Takes the pain away, but makes everything seem so far away, like nothing was really happening to me.
Yes, sir, we understand. Think you could go on with the story?
Yeah. This fella came in Monday night. It was raining. Wasn't much business. I was figuring on closing when he came in. Took one of the carts and started to pick up stuff off the counter.
Yes, sir.
Well, the fella picked up a lot of stuff. Had a shopping bag with him, hung it on the cart. I figured that I'd have to check the bag when he got the check stand. We had a lot of shoplifting lately.
I see.
Well, after he looked the store over, he came up to the check stand. I checked out the stuff he had. Came to over $5. Picked out all kinds of things, most of them imported.
I see. These were all groceries, were they?
Yes. I had the stuff, and it come to a little over $5. Oh, I got exactly how much. A little over $5.
All right, sir.
After I got everything all totaled up, well, I asked him if I could put it in a shopping bag for him. I didn't want to come right out and ask to see in it. After all, he might have just moved in the neighborhood, and I haven't got that many regulars that I can insult him.
Yes, sir.
That's when he pulled the gun. Pulled it right out of the shopping bag.
Now, you saw that it was a shotgun, did you?
Yes, sir. Barrel was short. I guess it'd been sawed off.
Mm-hmm.
He pointed at me and told me to give him the money in the cash register.
All right, sir.
And he told me to lay down on the floor and stay there for 5 minutes and not to move.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to do it. I wasn't going to give him any trouble. Money doesn't mean that much to me. You get to be my age, 62, and it's more important that you're alive than how much money you got. Yes, sir. A lot more important.
Yes, sir.
Well, I was just going to do like you said when Mrs. Colton came in the store. She's one of my regular customers, you know.
I see.
She saw the fellow with the gun, and she let out a scream. I tried to tell her to keep quiet, but before I could say much of anything, the fellow turned around and hit me with a gun. Oh, I say, hit me just about as hard as he could. I kind of remember the sirens coming, but after that, it's kind of hazy. Like it didn't really happen to me, like I read about it.
I see, sir. Now, can you tell us what the man looked like?
Yes, I guess I can. But before I do, though...
Yes, sir.
Would you tell me what time it really is?
Well, right now it's 4:50, Mr. Bailey. 4:50 a.m.
Wednesday morning?
Yes, sir, that's right.
I don't think it's very nice, you fellas, play a joke like this on an old man. Seems like you could be honest. If I had my watch, I could tell myself.
Well, we're telling you the truth about the time, Mr. Bailey. It's 4:50.
All right, then you have your little joke, but I don't think it's funny at all.
Now, sir, can you tell us how old the man was?
About 24, 26.
I see. How tall was he?
Tall as me. I can remember because I could look right over straight at him. That'd make him 5 and 8. Yeah, right about that.
Was he heavy or slight?
I couldn't tell too well. He had a big overcoat on.
How about his coloring, his complexion?
Oh, he's dark complected, had dark eyes.
Do you remember what the color of his hair was?
Well, I could just see at the temples. It was black. Yeah. He had this hat on, the hat pulled down.
Uh-huh. Was he clean shaven?
Yes, he was.
I'm sorry to have to ask you all these questions, but we have to get to the bottom of this. Did he have any marks or scars?
Yes, sir. He had a little mole on the side of his nose. Just a small little one.
Which side of his nose, would you remember?
Well, when he was facing me, it was on the left, so that'd be on his right. Yeah, that's right, on the right side.
I hope we're not tiring you too much, but was there anything different about the way he talked? An accent, something like that?
No. Say, how about the things he picked up? You get any fingerprints from him?
No, sir. He must have taken all the groceries with him. Would you know the man if you saw him again, Mr. Bailey?
You just bet I would. I'd remember that face till my dying day. I won't ever forget it.
Think you've ever seen this man before?
No, sir, never did.
Would you know if he drove a car?
Well, I don't think so. He was so wet when he come in. He must have walked a ways. And like I said, his shoulders are just soaking wet.
Yes, sir. We'd like to have you look at some pictures when you feel a little better, Mr. Bailey.
You just bring them on. You got a picture of that young hoodlum, I'll know it.
All right, sir. We're going to have to come back and see you. You ought to try to get some sleep now. We appreciate your cooperation here.
Well, I suppose I should. Last couple of minutes, you fellas been getting a little further away from me. Seems like none of this is happening to me, just like I'm dreaming it.
Oh, we'll be back to see you, sir. Is there anything you need?
No, sir, not a thing.
All right, fine. Thanks very much, and you get some rest now.
Yeah, I'll try. Hey, one thing you could do for me.
What's that, sir?
Would you ask the nurse to come by? I think the joke is funny, but you fellas carried it on too far. I'd like to know what time it really is.
All right, Mr. Bailey. We'll send her in.
Thank you.
Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pardon me, nurse.
Yes?
What if you check Mr. Bailey in there? He'd like to know what time it is.
Well, he's been asking the same question the last 2 days. He won't seem to believe any of us.
Mm-hmm. Would you know where we could find Dr. Cardell?
Yes, sir, just down the hall, 2 doors past the turn.
Thank you very much. Sure like to find out when they'll be able to look at those mug shots.
Yeah, it's got a good description.
It'll make it easier.
Yeah.
I guess this is it.
2 doors past the turn.
Yeah.
Come in.
Sorry to bother you again, Doctor.
That's all right. What can I do for you?
We were wondering when it would be possible for Mr. Bailey to look at some pictures for us. I mean, when he's well enough.
Well, with the way he's been reacting to treatment, he'll live.
Yes, sir.
But you saw the bandage.
Yes, sir.
He's totally blind.
5:10 a.m. We got to the city hall. We got out a supplementary broadcast and an APB carrying the description of the suspect. We asked the stats office to make a run for us on the information the victim of the holdup had given us. They said they'd be able to give us a list of possibles by 10:30 that morning. We checked through the oddity file to see if there might be something in the records on the small mole on the suspect's nose. There were several cards turned over to us, but none of them matched the rest of the description that we had. 6:30 a.m. We went across the street, we had breakfast, and then we came back to the office and put in a call to the hospital to check on Bailey. The doctor told us that he was sleeping comfortably and he appeared to be past the critical point. For the next hour, Frank and I checked through the mug books to see if there were any recent parolees who matched the description that we had. We came up with nothing that would help us in getting an identification of the suspect. The woman customer of the store mentioned by Bailey in his report of the crime had been questioned thoroughly, but she was unable to give us any additional information on the holdup man. She was unable to give us a concrete description of the thief. She'd been shown the mug books, but after looking at them, she stated that she was more confused than she had been before seeing them. She also told us about the suspect's black overcoat. She said that while the shoulders looked quite wet from the rain, the rest of the garment appeared to be dry. 10:30 a.m., we got the results of the run from the stats office. There were 17 names on the list. All men matched the description of the suspect and had at one time or another used the same M.O. used in holding up Bailey. It took us 2 days to check them out, and at the end of 48 hours, we were no nearer apprehending the thief than we had been before. 7:58 a.m. Saturday morning. I checked in for work.
Hi, Joe.
Morning, Frank. It's one of the best investments I ever made.
Huh?
This trench coat sure gave me a lot of wear.
Well, if you only used it this week, you'd gotten your money's worth.
Yeah. Sure is the answer to the rain question, though.
I've been wearing that plastic coat of mine so long, I'm beginning to feel like a package of frozen food.
Yeah, you look like it, too.
Yeah.
Anything in the book?
No. I talked to Stoner this morning, thought for a minute he had something for us.
What's that?
Well, I picked up a kid down on 7th yesterday. Tried to heist a liquor store. Manager pulled a gun and held him. Stoner answered the call. Thought at first it might be the guy we're looking for.
Didn't check out, though, huh?
No. Kid just got in town yesterday morning, broke and hungry.
You know, I got to thinking about that Bailey thing last night.
Yeah?
Well, what he said about the suspect's coat.
What do you mean?
Well, you remember that Bailey said the guy didn't look very wet, just the shoulders on the coat.
Well, no, Joe, Bailey didn't say exactly that. He said the shoulders on the coat looked wet, but it was that woman customer we talked to, that Mrs. Colton. She's the one that told us the coat looked dry except the shoulders.
Yeah, well, that's the point I'm trying to make. I don't remember who said it. But if just his shoulders were wet, the way the rain was coming down out there, he couldn't have walked far and come in out of it that dry, could he?
No. There's no bus or streetcar lines within 6 blocks of Bailey's store.
We know he doesn't live close to the store. He had to come in a car.
Nobody saw one, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's happened before. I guess it's the same thing you're thinking, huh?
Well?
Could have took a cab, huh?
Maybe.
Well, let's run it down.
It's better than standing still. There are 22 taxicab companies listed in the phone directory, all serving the downtown Los Angeles area. Each of these companies may have from 6 to several hundred cabs in service at any given time. Each driver might make as many as 6 trips an hour. In wet weather, the cab traffic is almost double that of any normal day. As a result of the number of possibilities, Frank and I spent the next week going through driver's way bills, checking for a cab that dropped off a customer near the corner of Virgil Avenue and Bimini Place at approximately 9:30 p.m. on the date of the robbery. After checking the reports, we came up with one trip that looked good. A driver had picked up a passenger at the corner of Mariposa and Wilshire Boulevard and had dropped him 1 block from Bailey's store, waited for him, and then driven him downtown. We checked with the traffic manager of the cab company, and we found that the driver could be located at a cab stand out on Wilshire Boulevard. Frank and I drove out to see him. We gave him the description of the suspect and asked if he'd ever seen anybody who matched it.
Yeah, I remember him. A little guy. I picked him up out on Wilshire. I remember because he wanted out on a corner. And I thought it was funny that he didn't want me to let him out in front of wherever it was he was going.
Did you wait for him?
Yeah. He gave me a sawbuck and said for me to wait. I dropped the flag, and, I guess it was about a half an hour later, he came running back to the cab. Jumped in, told me to take him down to First and Spring. Let him out there. Remember him pretty good now. Had a big shopping bag.
I see. Do you know where he went when he got out of your cab out on Bimini?
No. I think it was an apartment out there. The way the rain was coming down, I didn't stick my head out to watch him.
How about when you dropped him off downtown? You see where he went then?
No.
You think you'd know this man if you ever saw him again?
Not sure. He wore his hat kind of down over his face, dark in the back of the cab. Might know him, then maybe I wouldn't.
I'd like to have you come downtown and look at some pictures, if you would, see if you can spot them for us.
Sure, I got to get cleared through the dispatcher first.
That's all right. We'll take care of that.
Say, what's this guy done? Something pretty bad, huh?
Well, we want to talk to him.
Going to a lot of trouble just to talk to the guy. Come on, you can tell me. I won't spread it around. What's it be? What's he done, huh?
That'll be a little better if we talk to him about it.
Okay, that's the way you want to play it. I don't want to get nosy.
I'll get you cleared with the dispatcher.
Okay.
I'd like to have you show us the apartment you think the man might have gone into, if you would.
Sure, glad to do anything I can to help. Oh, say about those pictures.
Yeah.
Sure was dark that night. I hope I can point him out.
Yes, sir, so do we. We took the cab driver downtown, and he went through the mug books, but he was unable to come up with an identification. The neighborhoods where he'd picked up the suspect and where he'd dropped him off were checked. None of the people in the vicinity could tell us anything. The usual channels of information were checked, but they yielded no new information. It had been 10 days since the holdup, and we were no nearer to finding the suspect than we'd been the day after the robbery. Another week passed without results. The thief had dropped from sight. We still had no idea where he was. On Tuesday, March 10th, we got the answer. Hot shot, I'll get it.
Anything?
Yeah, he just hit again. The description of the M.O. the thief had used was the same as he'd employed in holding up Bailey. During the following 3 days, he hit 3 more times. Each time he got away without a trace. From the information we were able to get, it became apparent that he was using taxicabs to get to and from the scene of the holdups. We checked the cab companies and got their full cooperation. They agreed to help us as much as they could, but explained that with the tremendous volume of business that they handled each day, it would be almost impossible to check every passenger that the drivers carried. We got out printed descriptions of the suspect, giving detailed information of the hat and the coat that he wore, the shopping bag that he carried, and the fact that he asked the drivers to wait for him. Another week passed without results. The bandit had stopped operating. Thursday, March 19th, 3 additional teams of men were assigned to the case, and a rolling stakeout was set up in the general area where the holdup man had been working. Additional cars were planted at the cab stands along Wilshire Boulevard and in the vicinity of 1st and Spring Streets. Another 2 days passed. On Thursday, March 21st, Frank and I were sitting in our car, staked out at the cab stand at the corner of Wilshire and Leeward, 8:46 p.m.
That looks like it's going to rain again.
Yeah. Those clouds have been moving in all afternoon. Pretty black, aren't they?
Yeah. Sure cold, too.
Mm-hmm.
Attention all units. All units. 9648 Eldon Place at 211 code 3. All units in the vicinity of 9648 Eldon Place at 211 code 3.
Let's go.
Right.
Couple blocks over.
Yeah.
Well, this is 9400. Should be 2 blocks down from here.
Right.
Better hold it. There's a cab headed this way.
See who's in it?
No, he's pulling over to the other side. I'll take a look. Yeah, might be.
You want to check it?
Yeah.
All right, I'll swing around. That cab's taking off. You see it?
Yeah, he's up ahead, just turning off on Wilshire. See him?
Yeah, I hope you don't lose him.
There's only one man in the back seat.
You get a good look at him when we pass?
Not too good, no. Hat pulled down. That's about all.
See him?
Yeah, there he is up ahead.
Yeah, probably pulled a gun on the driver.
All right, stick to him now.
Yeah. It looks like he's headed for MacArthur Park.
Yeah. Turn right.
Yeah.
There's a cab. Come on, pull up. Come on.
I couldn't stop. He said he'd kill me if I did. He had the gun pointed right at me.
You see where he went?
Yeah, he ran over there in the park.
Good, I'll check it.
I didn't know what it was all about. He said if I didn't keep driving, he'd kill me.
It's all right. You stay here. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure.
Joe?
Yeah. You see him?
No, he got away. Maybe we got something to go on.
Yeah?
He dropped his shotgun.
You are listening to Dragnet, the authentic story of your police force in action.
Smokers by the thousands are now changing to Chesterfield, the only cigarette ever to give you 1, proof of low nicotine, highest quality. Chemical analyses of the country's 6 leading brands confirm that.
2, the only cigarette ever to give you this proven record with smokers. Again and again, over a full year and 1/2, a group of Chesterfield smokers have been given thorough medical examinations. that doctors' reports are a matter of record. No adverse effects to the nose, throat, and sinuses from smoking Chesterfield.
A responsible independent research laboratory supervises this continuing program. Chesterfield, the only cigarette ever with a record like this. Chesterfield, best for you.
A blockade of MacArthur Park was ordered. The surrounding streets were checked, but apparently the suspect had made good his escape. The crime lab crew was called, and they came out and went over the cab for physical evidence. In the back seat of the cab, we found the shopping bag that the thief had carried. It was a plain brown paper bag with heavy cord handles. There was no way of tracing it. In the bottom of the bag, under several cans of food, there was a sales slip with a penciled notation. One of the prices that had been rung up had apparently been wrong, and after the total had been made, a credit to the customer had been deducted. There was no market name on the slip and no address, just the penciled notation. The shotgun and the cans of food were checked for fingerprints, but those that were found were so badly smudged that they were useless. The serial number was checked with gun records, and we found out that the gun had been reported stolen 3 months previously. We went out and talked to the man who'd made the report, but he couldn't help us. Lieutenant Lee Jones made photographs of the serrated edge of the sawed-off barrels, and they were booked as evidence. We checked at the store that had been robbed, but they told us that the sales slip wasn't theirs. Monday, March 23rd, we started out to find the store that had made out the slip. We checked all of the smaller grocery stores in the area where most of the cabs had been picked up. It took us the better part of 3 days. On Wednesday afternoon, we stopped at a small delicatessen at the corner of 3rd and Leeward Streets. The manager there told us that he didn't recognize the slip, but he said that it could have come from their cash register. He asked us to wait while he called his wife. She came over to the store, and we showed her the receipt.
Yeah, that's one I made out. The customer bought 4 cans of tomato sauce, and I made a mistake on the register. I overcharged him a penny on each can. He noticed that he made quite a scene. It was pretty embarrassing. I apologized, and I gave him a credit.
Do you know the man?
Yeah, he comes in quite often, once, twice a week.
Does he live in the neighborhood, would you know?
No, I can't tell you that. He just comes in and he leaves.
Do you know his name?
No, I don't.
He drive a car?
I've never seen him in a car. He usually walks in, gets what he wants, and then walks out.
You ever come in with anybody else?
No, he's always alone.
And you don't know if he lives around here, huh?
Well, I told you no. What's he done? What's this all about?
We want to talk to him, ma'am. When do you think he'll be back?
Well, let's say this is Thursday. Might be in this evening, maybe tomorrow.
What times do you usually come in?
Mostly in the late afternoon or early evening. Is there something I can do? Do you have a message I could give him?
No, ma'am. We'll give it to him. We called the office and told them where we were. Sergeants Murphy and Rafferty were sent out to help us cover the place. They'd stopped by the business office and brought out 2 shotguns for us. Frank and I checked the small store for someplace to stake out. The only place we could find where we could keep the entire store under observation and yet not be seen ourselves was on top of one of the large refrigerators that held frozen foods and dairy products. Murphy and Rafferty took up their positions outside of the store, and we waited. At 5:30, it started to rain again. There was no sign of the suspect. 7 p.m., 8 p.m., still no sign of him, and the rain got heavier. 8:30, 9 p.m.
Oh, every time this thing switches on, it feels like the dentist is working on the teeth. Sure not much room up here.
Don't shove me off.
Yeah, there just isn't one.
What's that?
Well, there just isn't any way a man can lay on top of an icebox and be comfortable.
Yeah.
Evening.
Yeah.
Glad to see you back.
Huh?
I thought you might be mad about me overcharging you the other day. Looking for anything special tonight?
No, just a couple of can things. I can get them.
Sure is raining.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Let's wait till he comes over this way. You can jump him then. Huh?
Right.
All right, now.
Hey, what's going on?
Watch it, Joe.
Let's go.
There he goes.
All right, police officer, hold it up.
He isn't going to stop, Joe.
You see Murph and Rafferty?
Yeah, they're across the street.
Looks like he's going in that apartment. Come on. All right, take it easy. He should be in there.
He is.
All right, cover me.
Right.
All right, give it up, mister.
Get away from me, cop. You come after me, I'll kill you.
Come on downstairs. You're going to save yourself a lot of trouble.
You okay, Joe?
Yeah.
He's still alive.
You want to call the ambulance?
Yeah.
Who told you? Who tipped you off?
You did.
I never talked in my life. I wasn't even worried.
You were once, fella.
What about?
4 cents.
The story you have just heard is true. The names were changed to protect the innocent.
On July 16th, trial was held in Department 96, Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of Los Angeles. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you, George Fenneman. I only need 7 seconds to tell you why you should be smoking Chesterfields. Chesterfield is low in nicotine, highest in quality, best for you. I'd like you to try them. Regular or king size? Chesterfield.
Russell Craig was tried and convicted on 3 counts of robbery in the first degree and 1 count of assault with a deadly weapon. Robbery in the first degree is punishable by imprisonment in the state penitentiary for a period of not less than 5 years. Assault with a deadly weapon is punishable by imprisonment for a period not to exceed 10 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, this week in Detroit, a group of men are gathered for the 60th annual conference of the International Association of Chiefs of Police. Dragnet sends best wishes to the top law enforcement officers in the nation and thanks them for the protection they daily give to our homes and families. May this conference be the best one they've ever had.
You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department. Technical advisors, Captain Jack Donahoe, Sergeant Marty Wynn, Sergeant Vance Brasher. Heard tonight were Ben Alexander, Ralph Moody, Lillian Bayev, Jack Crucian. Script by John Robinson. Music by Walter Schumann. Hal Gibney speaking.
Watch an entirely new Dragnet case history each week on your local NBC television station. Please check your newspaper for the day and time. Chesterfield has brought you Dragnet, transcribed from Los Angeles.
Have you tried new cork-tipped Fatima? It's the smooth smoke. Here's why. New Fatima tips of perfect cork, king size for longer filtering, and Fatima quality for a much better flavor and aroma. Remember, Fatima has the tip for your lips. Try new Fatima. See how smooth it is. Fatima is made by the makers of Chesterfield, Liggett & Myers, one of tobacco's most respected names.
Ladies and gentlemen, the American Broadcasting Company brings to its entire network one of radio's most unusual programs. Pat Novak, for hire.
I'm Pat Novak, for hire. That's what the sign out in front of my office says. Pat Foghorn, for hire. Oh, there are other ways to say it, but down on the waterfront in San Francisco, you got to put your best foot forward, especially if you want to trip up a friend. Down here, a friend is anybody who's been dead more than 10 years. And then it pays to watch out, because if you relax, somebody will come along and knock you on the back of your stomach. Works out all right, though. I rent boats and do anything else, you can hide in the dark. It's about all you can ask, because along the Embarcadero, nothing's perfect except the heels. I found that out Wednesday afternoon. She was a lovely girl, the sort of person you'd expect to see in a choir loft, about 3 hours after choir practice. Her hair was red, her eyes were as cold as rigor mortis, and you knew the first time you met her that you'd been seeing her too often. Must have been about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I was walking down toward Pier 19 when she pulled up alongside of me in a cream convertible.
Can I give you a lift?
You already have.
Well, is that love or reflex action?
What's on your mind?
You are Mr. Novak, but don't put on your tracksuit. It's a business matter.
Well, in that case, you've got a name.
I'm Con Regan. I went by your office a few minutes ago, but you were out.
I'm in now. Go ahead.
It won't take me long, Mr. Novak. Stay away from Rory Malone.
Well, I'm doing all right so far. Who is he?
He's important to me. I don't want to lose him, Mr. Novak, so please stay away.
Go tell a girl. I don't even know the guy.
You will. You're not lying now. He's a prize fighter, and someone's going to try and hurt him.
And you'd rather hurt him first.
I'm willing to pay you to stay away from him.
Suppose I'm going to see him a lot. Will you pay a lot?
I'll give you $300. All right, Mr. Novak?
You know, you're not smart, Angel. If you're pressing that hard, the other team's going to bid, too. The answer's no.
I'm afraid that's up to you. But I'm warning you, don't do it. Please don't do it.
Yeah, that's what Mother used to say. I'm still all right.
Maybe Mother liked you better, Mr. Novak. See you later.
Well, I watched her for a minute as she brushed her hair back and started the car. It was nice hair, and the dress helped, too. It was dark blue and had a V-neck, but the designer believed in big letters. She pulled away and gave me a look you could take on a safari. It was enough to tell me that she was as safe as a tap dancer on a floor full of dynamite caps. I walked up and turned in at Pier 19. When I reached the door of the office, I could see the old man sitting by the desk. He looked tired and a year older than the Bible. His hands were shaking and his skin was coarse and the color of an old razor strap. When I walked in, he glanced up at me and looked about as happy as a cocker spaniel with a stomachache.
I could talk to you, please, Mr. Novak.
You'll try it once. Go ahead.
I'm an old man.
You want to argue or go on?
I'm too old, so I must come to someone for help. My name is Hans Newmeyer. I would like you to watch someone for me.
Someone like Rory Malone?
Yeah. But you do not
What
know
is this, Save Rory Malone Week? What's he to you?
I am his manager. Oh, you don't ever hear of me because I'm old and not a very good manager, I guess. After this fight, Rory find new manager, maybe.
Yeah? When's this fight?
Tonight. Oh, you don't know Rory. He's a good boy. He's a very good boy, Rory is.
Yeah, well, good boys don't need watching. Has he got some bad coming out?
Something funny about this fight. He meets with bad people. And Rory is a good boy.
Yeah, I just met one. How deep do they run?
At the west is a fellow named Joe Slagle. He's a bad man, a gambler. Please, Mr. Novak, you just watch Rory tonight and see he's all right.
Are you that rich?
Oh, please, I don't have much money. Just $300, maybe, what I got from the fight. Maybe 300, I don't know. I just got a little money.
It's a tie, Pop. You win the toss.
Please, you don't help me.
You win, Pop. When do I look at him?
Tonight you come before the fight. In the dressing room, I'll show you to Rory, and you see he's all right.
Yeah, about 9.
Yeah. Please, Mr. Novak. I thank you all my life. You watch Rory. I thank you all my life.
Yeah, well, I'm getting short shift on that, but I suppose it's not your fault, Pop. See you at 9. Well, I felt sorry for him when he turned and walked out of there. I could afford it. With $300, you can buy a lot of crying towels. At the door, he turned and smiled once before he shuffled out. He moved down the pier with a nervous, uncertain motion like a flower petal in a warm wind. When he disappeared, I took a cab and rode up to the press club. Oh, I found out a lot about Rory Malone, and most of it was good. He was a lightweight, and Hans Newmeyer had picked him up and brought him through the prelims up to main event stuff. He was fighting tonight against a Cleveland boy named George Zarek, and the betting was even. I ran into a Chronicle man whose wife divorced him and named a fight club as correspondent, and he said not to worry about Joe Slagle, that Rory Malone fought for purses, and that's all. He knew about the girl, Con Regan, but he didn't want to say much, just that she was a fast 5-gated horse trying for 7. Well, I had some dinner, and I went over to the arena about 8:30. When I walked into Rory Malone's dressing room, Hans Newmeyer wasn't anywhere around. I stood over in a corner and watched him get ready for the fight. There was enough liniment being thrown around to keep an old lady's home spry for years. The other handlers were in, watching him tape up Malone and put on the gloves. Most of the people cleared out then. Malone shadowboxed a minute before a second threw a robe around his shoulders and shoved him toward the door. As he passed, I fell in beside him, and we started walking under the arena. A few feet down, I bumped up against him.
Sorry?
About what, Hans Newmeyer?
Who are you?
Where's Newmeyer?
What do you care?
My name's Novak. I'm supposed to meet him here. Do you know where he is?
No, he didn't show up. He's probably out drunk.
Does he drink?
No.
Well, that's a funny answer.
I don't know where he is. All I know is I need him tonight. I got to get up to the ring.
I'll go with you.
Suit yourself.
You gonna win tonight?
You never know.
Sometimes you do.
Mister, you're either too smart or too dumb.
What's the difference? You can't fight twice in one night.
I want to talk to you, Rory.
Not now, Kitty. After the fight.
Please, Rory, talk to me now.
Kitty, you're crazy. This guy's standing around, a lot of other people. What do you want to do? Put it on the radio?
Where's Hans? He hasn't been around. Where is he, Rory?
I don't know, Kitty. If I knew, I'd get him.
There's something wrong, Rory. I've been watching. I know there's something wrong about this fight.
Yeah. There's only going to be one guy fighting if you don't let me out.
Please, Rory, don't brush me off like a dumb fly. I know there's something wrong. I don't want you to get into trouble.
All right, Kitty.
Oh, don't say all right when you know how I feel. Oh, let's talk about you and Joe Slagle. Oh, please, Rory. You don't know what it's like to see somebody you love go crazy.
Your dough is safe, Kitty.
That doesn't count. You know that doesn't count, Rory. The little money I've saved doesn't count next to you. Oh, please, Rory, don't do anything wrong. I'd die. I'd die of terrible heartbreak. It hurt me all my life.
Stop it, will you, Kitty? Now stop crying. Don't worry, I'll win.
Just don't let anything happen, Rory.
I won't. I'll see you after the fight. Coming, Novak?
Yeah. You're real good with your women, Malone.
After this fight, I want a match with you, Novak.
I've met 2 of them, and they both have you in their dream books right on the flyleaf.
I'll remember. Talk some more.
I'll talk enough to tell you that you're being followed about 12 inches behind.
That's right, Malone. Keep walking. Turn in the next door.
Hey, wait a minute.
You better walk, Malone, unless you can outrun a bullet.
You too, mister.
I agreed an hour ago.
All right. Open the door for him, Eddie.
Okay.
You stand over here. Now, Malone, take off your glove.
I'm going to need it.
You're going to be eating teeth. Take off your glove. Help him, Eddie. Yeah. That's it. Hold him on the other side, Steve. Put his hand on the table, Eddie. Now give me the block. Yeah. You can cry, Malone. It's going to hurt. Hold him up. Keep his hand out there, Eddie. Put the glove back on, Malone.
It's too smashed up.
It'll hold the pieces. Put it on.
You better put it on, Malone. You're overmatched.
That's it. Now go on up there and look good.
Yeah, why don't you loan him the gun and he'll win in 2 rounds.
Look, mister, I don't know who you are, but I'm sick of your mouth. It's a big floor, so stretch out.
During the next 2 hours, they either moved me or the arena because I woke up in an alley down near the Golden Gate Theater. It was in back of a restaurant, and I was lying there trying to look good in a mixed green salad. My head was about the size of a diving bell, and my clothes were so rumpled and dirty I looked like a leg man for the Hobo News. I tried to get to my feet once, but it wasn't easy. It was like trying to push a basketball through a stovepipe. I think it was close to 11 when I got out to the street. I didn't even buy a paper to find out about the fight. I grabbed a cab and went up to my apartment to iron out my spine. It was a good idea, but the girl at the desk had a message from Hans Newmeyer. He was out at the California General Hospital, and he wanted to see me right away. When I got there, he was at the end of a ward on the 3rd floor, but the duty nurse wouldn't let me by. Oh, she was a real pretty nurse, if you like pure mammal. Somebody buzzed, and when she oozed down the hall, I ducked into the ward and started looking for Hans Newmeyer. It was dark, and he was way down at the end behind a white screen. He looked tired, and his eyes were moist and soft, like a ripe fruit that's just been squeezed too hard.
Please, Mr. Novak, you come to see me.
Yeah, just as soon as I got your message.
You make mistake with Hans. I don't send message.
Somebody wants to be your secretary. What happened to you?
In my room. I just go to my room. Somebody is there. I don't know. Rory is all right?
I limped a little, mister. Your boy got his hand smashed.
Rory's a good boy.
He's got a good girl. Who's Kitty?
Oh, she's go with Rory a long time. Save money to marry with.
Wait a minute. Keep still.
Something the matter?
Yeah. Somebody coming. Down this way. Coming up behind that curtain.
Maybe Rory comes to visit me.
Whoever came to visit him didn't stay long. The old man leaned back in the bed and quit without any fanfare, like a long summer coming to an end. Well, I went out to get the nurse, and I found her down at the end of the hall giving an intern some greedy talk. She hadn't heard the shots, and they hadn't seen anybody come out of the ward. I told her as much as I could, and then she wheeled the old man into another room and called homicide. Well, that call to homicide didn't help, because from now on, things weren't going to improve. I was fighting a forest fire with a can of kerosene. About 20 minutes later, Inspector Hellman showed up. He was full of finesse and fury, and he came charging over about as graceful as a lame lobster.
Hello, Novak. You're up late.
I had company most of the time.
Yeah? And did he bore you?
Somebody got tired of him. It happened behind a screen down there in the ward.
Who is he?
Guy by the name of Hans Newmeyer. He manages a fighter named Rory Malone.
Yeah?
The killing's mixed up with a fight fix.
Not the Zarek fight.
Yeah, that's right. They got to Rory Malone 10 minutes before ring time.
You got a thin story, Novak.
Look, I got a fat one. And I got all the gambling dough in town on my side. The old man got it because Rory Malone was dumped in that fight.
I don't believe it.
You don't have to believe it, Hellman. They smashed him up. His right hand was as limp as an old piece of lettuce when he climbed into that ring.
They should have smashed both hands.
Huh?
Because Rory Malone won by a knockout in the 5th round. Try another page, Novak.
When Hellman told me Rory Malone won that fight, I might as well have handed him a feather. I stood there feeling like a guy peddling dope at his sister's wedding. How could Rory Malone have won that fight without a hand grenade? When I saw the hand, it wasn't strong enough to flatten a piece of silk on an ivory table, and yet he won by a knockout in the 5th round. Well, it pointed to one thing. Zarek had taken a dive. But why the double fix? Why had they smashed Rory's hand? Oh, it was a goofy pitch, like sending for a plumber to fix a hole in Boulder Dam. I didn't have time to wrestle around with it because Hellman had talk on his mind.
You can't get a bookie in town to take bets on this one, Novak.
No, not with you setting the odds.
They were that way when I got here, so don't write up a clean bill of health. The guy's dead and nobody else is volunteering.
Oh, you'd muff a confession anyway. Before you tumbled, they'd have to cut it in stone across the front of City Hall.
What were you doing with the old man?
Helping him over the rough spots.
Or taking him over the hurdle?
He hired me to watch Rory Malone. They were stepping up the pace on his boy.
For instance?
For instance, Joe Slagle. Everybody says he had a stake in the fight.
You don't throw a fight by winning in the 5th round.
That's what the book says, but sometimes the book's wrong. You better look up Joe Slagle, and on the same trip you can stop by and see a gal named Con Regan.
Yeah? Why?
She's Malone's new sparring partner, a tall redhead with lots of dry cells.
Oh. She sounds nice. I'll talk to her. And Slagle, too. But I'm going to find out about you and Rory Malone first. I'm going to run down the stuff on this fight, and I'll find out where you fit in. Don't worry, Novak. I'll dig you out.
You couldn't dig the jelly out of an omelet, Hellman. Look up the girl and Joe Slagle. They'll talk.
Not about each other.
There's some connection there. I'll give even money they're friends.
They ought to be.
What?
They were married a month ago in Las Vegas. Or don't you know about love?
Hellman stood there a moment and smiled like a guy who's just killed a landlord. And then he turned around and walked out. Well, I stayed until they wrapped up the old man. And after that, I went to the Chronicle office and pulled the clips on Joe Slagle. He'd been to 3 jails and gotten his master's at Alcatraz, and there were some pictures of him at the racetrack. He had a face any museum would buy and a forehead that was so low he must have had to look down to see his hairline. There was one other thing about him I noticed. He was the same guy who'd smashed Rory Malone's hand. I began to wonder about that friendship, but it was getting late and I had to work fast, so I looked up the only honest guy I know, an ex-doctor and a boozer by the name of Jocko Madigan. Well, he's a smart guy until he decided a head on your beer is worth more than a head on your shoulders. I finally found him in a little joint down on Geary Street talking some woman into giving up all men under 50.
Ah, Patsy. I've missed you in a rather trivial way.
Yeah, all right, Jocko.
I'm giving this woman a lecture on diminishing returns.
Jocko, will you stop drinking long enough to listen?
Patsy, you fail to understand my drinking. Actually, I hate whiskey, but I go on drinking as a sort of sop to Providence.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows the guardian angels take care of small children and tipplers, and since I've passed the age where I look well in rompers, this is a very clever dodge to get a little outside help.
Jocko, are you ever going to change?
Patsy, don't you know what a burden change is to a man as old as I am?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's not the change we mind, it's the way it happens, by degrees, never giving you a chance to remember anything else, so it's heartbreaking, Patsy.
All right.
It's like visiting a half-forgotten neighborhood. It hasn't changed completely, just parts of it. A few old houses and some human remnants is still around, enough to remind you of the change, but never enough to make you happy. It's that way with growing old.
Will you listen?
They don't allow you to grow old suddenly and leave. They insist on this policy of having you dribble off into eternity. It's undignified, Patsy, feeling like a bowl of old dishwater with the stopper pulled out.
Jocko, I want to talk to you.
Oh, why didn't you say so? What's the matter?
An old guy by the name of Hans Newmeyer is dead.
Oh, bless him.
Homicide's full of fever. They think I killed the old man.
What did he do before he stopped doing it?
A fight manager. He hired me to watch his fighter, Rory Malone. He should have hired a team because somebody got to him in the hospital tonight.
How do you fit in?
Well, I was just passing through when the noise started.
That was General Custer's problem.
It's tied up with tonight's fight. Newmeyer was afraid of a gambler named Joe Slagle. He was around tonight and smashed Malone's hand before ring time.
That's a hard way to lose.
Yeah, well, it's a harder way to win. Malone won by a knockout in the 5th.
Was he fighting his father?
I'm not getting any place, Jocko, and I'm doing it in a hurry. It's a bad fit all the way around. They took 2 tries to get the old man, and if Slagle bought the fight, why'd he smash Malone's hand?
Let's have a drink.
Jocko, you've got to help me.
Oh, it's the thirst that's confusing.
I want you to get up to Rory Malone's place. You can find it in the book. Go through his stuff and try to pick up a lead, will you?
Why don't you do it?
I'm going to look up a girlfriend named Regan. She's married to Slagle, but she's trying to work Malone into the act.
Oh, well, in that case, I'd be in the way.
Look, I'm in a spot, Jocko. Now get up to that apartment, will you?
What if Malone walks in and finds me going through his stuff?
Stop worrying.
Well, he almost killed a man with one broken hand. Suppose someone smashed the other one.
Well, I had to do something quick because the kettle was on to boil. By the time Hellman got to him, Slagle would have an alibi, and my story about the smashed hand wouldn't prove a thing. Oh, I had to grope around and pretend like a guy on the second verse of the national anthem. I decided to tag by Slagle's place, and on the way I bought a paper to read about the fight. Malone looked real bad for 4 rounds and then came out of the woods fast with a left hand in the 5th. It was about midnight when I got to Slagle's apartment, and began to look more and more like it when Regan opened the door. Oh, I could see Rory's point. She was the sort of a woman you'd never give a second look, because the first would paralyze you. Her red hair looked brighter now, and, well, legs like that are the reason silkworms are born. She smiled, and you knew if you never made Naples, you could die happy with her. Well, I guess she picked her friends.
It's too late for the 300 now, Mr. Novak.
I'm working free. Invite me in, huh?
Sorry, darling.
You look lonely. Where's Slagle?
I agreed to marry him, not follow him.
How about Malone? Somebody killed his manager.
I'd like to help you, Mr. Novak, but I don't like you well enough.
Well, you can make love later. Give me answers now. Where you going?
You're not welcome.
I want to know what those bags are packed for.
I don't trust the drawers. Now get out of here, Mr. Novak.
Calm down and put the gun away.
Get out of here. You came uninvited. I'll kill you the same way.
Hello, Novak. You gonna lose an argument?
Well, it looks that way. If she's yours, call her off, Malone.
You're too tough, Con. Let him walk out.
He steamed in here full of questions.
That's a bad way to answer. Relax.
That's what your man Newmeyer's doing. Somebody killed him tonight.
I know that, Novak.
Your eyes aren't very red.
I can't help it, Novak. All I can do is square his beef.
Well, you can start with your girlfriend. She's leaving town, or did you buy the tickets?
Let you hurry, Con.
If I want to leave, I can leave, Rory.
I'll argue with you.
You'll get the short end, Rory, because I'm leaving. Stay away from me.
You're too close.
Rory, stop it. Someday they'll met you even, Rory.
Maybe it's a referee. I'll get it. Yeah.
You got a deep voice, Miss Regan.
What's on your mind, Hellman?
Joe Slagle right now. He cleaned up in tonight's fight.
Not with a betting even.
Wasn't after the first round. Word got out that Malone broke his hand. The betting changed.
And Slagle covered every bet in the house.
That's right.
Well, the old man tumbled before it happened. That's what he was afraid of.
And the shock killed him?
Slagle did. You got a motive now, Hellman. You better look him up.
We did. He's dead.
He couldn't be dead.
If he's not, the bullet holes are good fakes. See you soon, Novak.
Well, I didn't talk to the girl and Rory because I knew they'd dummy up on me and I had nothing to go on. Oh, it was like trying to build a wall out of jelly consomme. Nothing added up now. Whose side was Rory on, and where did that other girl, Kitty, fit in? My luck was on the black market tonight, and I knew it. So I went by my place to check with Jocko. He was in the kitchen, and he looked worried.
Ah, Patsy. I was going to break open the thermometer until I found this bottle in the closet.
All right, Jocko. What'd you find out?
That it pays to know Joe Slagle. There's a $20,000 check in Malone's desk. Slagle signed it.
He could afford it. Somebody killed him an hour ago.
Where was Malone?
I don't know, but that's not gratitude.
Well, maybe he'll wire regrets. You'd better get up there. All his stuff's packed for a long trip.
Well.
A couple of trunks and all his bags. Does that sound like a weekend party?
I don't know, Jocko. He's kind of fancy. Maybe he likes a lot of laundry. Up to now, it was like trying to melt a pound of diamonds, but when the turn comes, everything happens in a hurry, and things began to fall faster than snow off a warm roof. If Jocko was right, it meant Rory and the girl fought, but they did a lot of clinching between rounds. Well, I got a hold of Hellman and brought him up to date, and then I started for Rory Malone's apartment. When I got there, Hellman was outside the door listening, as quiet as a washing machine full of pebbles.
They must be in the back room. I can't hear a thing.
You couldn't hear a rifle shot in a boxcar, Hellman. Let's get a better view, huh?
Hello, Novak.
Gonna miss your train, Malone.
I don't believe you.
It's a chance to bet, Mr. Novak.
This is Inspector Hellman from Homicide.
Well, you guessed wrong, Inspector. I'm covered for Joe Slagle. Novak here's alibi for Miss Regan.
We can check.
You're scraping bottom, mister.
We can start with that $20,000 check from Joe Slagle.
That's where you'll stop, too. That $20,000 covered a sale of my contract. The fight commission can beef, but that's all. You ready, Con?
I hope you are, too, because you're going downtown.
Look, fella, you can make us miss a train, but we'll catch the next one.
You're wishing now, Rory.
Who's this?
A fast friend with a slow burn. Hello, Kitty. Your boyfriend's gonna leave. Say goodbye.
Please, Rory, you're crazy to go with her.
She makes me that way, Kitty. I'm sorry.
Rory, I've done too much for you. I kept loving you all this time. You can't leave. You can't leave now. I don't want to be alone.
Buy a dog.
No, Rory. No, I won't let you go.
You're too good with guns. Drop it. You better take her, Hellman. She's anxious.
Oh, please, Rory. I loved you too much for this. I loved you enough to kill somebody. You can't leave, Rory. You can't leave me to myself.
When the guy comes, tell him where the baggage is.
What'll become of you, Rory Malone? What'll become of you, Rory Malone, when you have to think about me? When you hear the sound of me in your head? Oh, you're brave, Rory. You're brave to leave me alone.
Come on, Con. In a place like this, we're wasting you.
Come back! Come back, Rory Malone! Come back long enough to watch them laugh at me. Watch them laugh at me for the fool I am. Oh, it's the great fool of the world I am.
It doesn't prove much, except the right kind of a heel can grind you into the dirt fast. Well, Hellman pieced most of the story together. Slagle and Malone planned the fight, and it went off without a hitch. Slagle bought off the other fighter so that Malone could win as soon as the bets had been covered. Hans Newmeyer had an idea, but he liked Rory too much to believe it. They found out he was coming to me, and Con Regan tried to scare me off. She looked too good to Rory, and the scheme started to grow. He lied to Slagle after the fight about Newmeyer, so Slagle went into the hospital and killed the old man. That left Slagle around to cloud things up, so Rory Malone told a phony story to his girlfriend, Kitty. She loved him enough to kill Slagle. There was no way to stick Rory Malone. He could never fight again with that hand. But he had a check for $20,000 to start on him. That's enough to keep love in the living room. Well, Hellman asked only one question. Why would a smart gambler like Slagle take a chance on giving Malone a check for $20,000? I guess Malone found out when he tried to cash that check because Joe Slagle was big-hearted but broke.
The American Broadcasting Company has just brought you the 6th of a new series, Pat Novak for Hire, starring Jack Webb. Pat Novak is produced and directed by William P. Russo. Jocko Madigan is played by Tudor Orone. Inspector Hellman is played by Raymond Burr. Music was composed and conducted by Basil Adlam. In our cast were Yvonne Pate, Stephen Schnabel, Frank Lovejoy, William Baeff, and Ted DeCorsia. This program is being released to our servicemen and women overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Be with us again next week when over most of these same ABC stations, we will bring you Pat Novak for Hire. This program came to you from Hollywood. Now, a listening reminder. Don't miss Jean Arthur and Robert Morley when they star in the compelling drama Yesterday's Magic on Theater Guild on the Air tonight. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.